Alright, let's get started, shall we? So, last Thursday we had an extra stream, so we went a bit forward. We did already start designing our first town over here. It's a little bit far away from the border. It shouldn't be too far away, though. It will have a bit of food production in there, although probably not quite sufficient amounts. But where did I'm pretty sure I did have the... Ah, yes, there's the flour mill, so that's going to feed into the storage building in here, which is then linked to the produce exchange, which is basically our shop. I do wonder, actually, do we have the... No, we have the tavern somewhere. No, there's a clinic. It's hard to tell which building is which, to be fair. That was the fire station. Let's see, wine house. There's an auto bar... Right, there's some housing in there. There's a windmill monument. Police stables, jail, there's a smokehouse for some cattle field over here. It's not necessarily going to produce a lot of meat, but it's hopefully going to reduce the amount of travel that we need to do back and forth. We did also add in a road onto the hillside here. We might add some more farming in here. We'll need to do a little bit of terraforming. Let's unpause, shall we? We did already make a little bit profit the past few months. Not massive amounts, of course, but a little bit. We're still using foreign manpower, of course, since we have no domestic manpower. We are running a little bit low on wood in here, so I suppose what I could do is I'm going to reduce the workers at the sawmill by at least one more. So there might not be quite as many. Also, how are we doing on the... Where do we have the digging crews? They are over here, is it? Yes, that's got two digging crews, and they're both busy somewhere. So what are we building right now? There is a lot of stuff that we're building. There's a horse feeding station over here that we're working on. That doesn't require too much stuff. It does a little bit workers to complete the construction there. And that should be fine. Then we've got some... Oh, right, there's one of the digging crews. And the other one, I believe, is on the road here. Okay, so it's quite a distance away. But we're currently... If we have a look at last year, we technically speaking did still make a deficit total last year, but the past few months we've actually made it a tiny bit of money at least. Actually, I suppose if we have a look at... Yeah, so the past 4 months or so, we've been doing a small profit, but a profit nonetheless. Of course, since we haven't had to import a lot of steel or anything like that, that makes it quite a difference. Like, of the expenditure, steel makes a massive portion of it, and that's mostly been imported in the first third or so of the year. The last year, that is. Everything else is relatively small cost. And then, of course, what we're selling is a decent bit of boards, some crops, since we can farm all year round. That makes quite a difference. And some mixed waste. Did I start getting the... Oh yeah, we are getting the fertilizer in here, so that's going to allow us to continue farming a lot quicker, and thus, of course, getting more crops to sell and all that. Right now, it's mostly just for sale. We do have about, well, 269 tons in the grain storage, so that's quite nice. And we do have another 13 in the farm itself. What do we have? So these are the... Ah, these are the open hole. Right, how much do we have in here? We've got quite a bit of board waiting there, but of course we've got like one wagon currently selling, or pretty much constantly selling some wood in here. Although I think it went to... No, that's for the wood cutting post. It's going to refuel over here. Did I... Oh, we do have the horse feeding station over there, but I don't think we're actually delivering the stuff to it yet. Which I suppose we might put in this one in here. Right, let's go ahead and... Well, I suppose unloading both of them should be fine. So that's going to allow those vehicles to then refuel a little bit closer. So they can do a bit more frequent trips here to supplement the wood storage. Because right now we are a little bit low on wood. It's not so much that the wood cutting that is the problem, but it's just we can't get the wood back into the things as quickly as we need to. Technically speaking, we do have power in here, so we could just import fuel directly into this. But actually what we're going to do is we'll just go ahead and utilize this, well, the crops are going to be saving us a lot of cost if we utilize those. But I have a feeling that we're going to add in a extra rule for this playthrough, is that for every, at least 5 upgraded vehicles, or something like that, we'll need to upgrade at least one of the fueling stations into something better. So what we'll have is we've basically got 3 tiers for that. We got the horse feeding stations, like this one. Then we can go for the steam, so basically coal using, or coal-fueled cars and all that. And then we'll go for fuel. We'll be slowly upgrading the vehicles. It's going to take a while. Of course, eventually we'll probably get to build our own vehicles. And at that point, we'll start on like the lower levels, and we'll eventually start upgrading then once we get the better blueprints and such. And once it's a long enough time since we purchased the previous stuff. So there's going to be some sort of progression at least in there. We're not going directly into the best available things. At least that is the plan for the time being. Ooh, there is a lot of fertilizer waiting there now, so that's good. So that's got plenty of fertility. It is already... Oh, right there. There's the cart is already there, or the horse is already there. And now we are fertilizing the other field. Still got quite a bit of crops to pick up over here. To be fair, it seems like we do it fairly quickly, which is quite nice. There is what, 60, almost 69 tons over there. We've got another 38 tons. These are fairly low in terms of crops waiting in there, which is actually quite nice. Now, how's the road construction? We have gotten a bit more gravel over there. This one's still waiting for another truckload. That one's waiting for 2 truckloads, or 2 wagon loads, I suppose I should say. But we're slowly getting through these. Yeah, so one of the things that we could do, if we can get more wood in here, which is not guaranteed, I do actually wonder. So I do have some options for like the more rudimentary wood cutting posts and all that. Ah, we could... Oh, we'd get one here. Interesting choice. So how much can that store? That's 20 tons of wood, and it's got... it can have only 1 vehicle. So that wouldn't really be that great. But it's all relatively cheap in terms of construction materials, but it does actually, in tonnage, it is actually more expensive than the vanilla wood cutting post. It can have the same amount of workers, but each worker works less efficiently, and the construction work is about 3 times, so it's about 3 times the work days to build it. That's kind of going to be the thing with a lot of these buildings. Like, the material cost is low, but the cost to build it, or the time to build it, is very high. So that's something that with the sort of more earlier, or sort of meant to be early start, and they're not quite as efficient, but again, they allow you to get work going. Like, we've got options for, the wood cutting. Then, of course, for sawmill, we've got another option. Fabric, clothing, for the gravel, we even have an easier one. To be fair, I don't suppose there's any gravel nearby is the problem. Other than the area over here, which we're already planning on. And this is going to be, like, future-proofed. So that's not really going to be too much in there. Then we've got some gravel processing stuff. We even got a street sweeper, technically speaking, which employs some people, and they get you like a tiny bit of gravel. It's not really much, but it could be okay amount, like to supplement, to get some workers doing something useful. Like, actually, I reckon you could probably use prisoners with that. That reminds me, I don't suppose we got... No, we did get the prison over here, didn't we? Yeah, of course we haven't built that yet. So we did get that road built there. And that road is getting some gravel at least. How's that one? That one has been built. We stopped with the road construction over there because we don't want to go any further than these quite yet. We need to get the transformer in here. I don't suppose... No, we haven't built the... Oh, actually, we have got on the power line coming in here. And that's a medium voltage wire going down that way. And then we've got another 2 wires getting into the town itself. So that's going to be a decent bit, I hope. There is a... Oh, right, that's going to refuel. Actually, that reminds me, we did get this one built. So we should probably go ahead and start loading up stuff there. And I think what we're going to do is... Do you want to take that one away? No, probably not yet, but we will probably want to replace that at some point. Let's go ahead and just assign that one. So we'll start getting this refueling position over here into use for the time being. So how we're looking this month? Okay, we are making a small deficit thus far this month. I'm sure that we can... actually, what are we doing over here? That's bringing up some more fertilizer. Is this one selling? Oh, yeah, that was selling board. We're not getting a huge amount of money. We're getting about... Let's see. Like, what, 13-ish? No, it's almost 15 rubles per board, actually. Alright, then, I mean, that's pretty decent. The wood price is already over 10. The gravel isn't very pricey yet. Right, another thing that we could do with a wood-based stuff is we can actually get bitumen through that. It takes 10 tons of wood for 1 ton of bitumen. It does pollute a decent bit, and it's not very effective production, but and it takes a lot of workers, actually. But this would be a way to get the production for our asphalt plant going. If we were to put in, like, some wood cutting even here somewhere, and then just funnel that in... That's the asphalt plant, so yeah, if we just put it in somewhere in here, it could work. But I don't think we will, but it would be an option. And then, of course, in the construction industry, so there's I've got a tiny cement plant, but that's not quite as overpowering necessarily. But we do actually have another thing, which I believe that would be in the... No, it's not in the coal, but there's a charcoal kiln, right. That's basically the coal processing plant variant. So that also pollutes a bit. It doesn't take quite as many workers. It can produce a little bit coal from wood. It takes a decent bit of wood, admittedly, to produce it. But that would be like if you need to run, for example, brick production or whatnot. There's actually, for brick kilns, there is also another variant, or a few variants. Let's see, brick factories. So there's the coal-based one, which doesn't use too much stuff. It doesn't produce all that much either, to be fair. But then there's the wood-based one, which is basically takes 3 tons of wood for each ton of coal that it would otherwise be bringing or using to get the same production in there. And then there's a slightly bigger variant, which is actually... Alright, so that uses coal only. But yeah, it's double production, essentially. And then, well, we've got some other options, but we're probably going to go with these variants, at least. They seem to be somewhat balanced, at least, I would say. Right, and that was the gravel stuff. That's the wood cutting, sawmills. Let's see, so that's the bricks, asphalt. Well, we've got some smaller mixers over here as well. We're not going to be... Oh, right, that's the fuel for the... Wait, what? Oh! It uses a bit of fuel, and then bitumen and gravel to make asphalt. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, we can store up to 10 tons of asphalt. What? Okay, then. I didn't notice that before. We do also have some concrete mixer options, but we're going to go with just the vanilla on those. At some point we might get explosives, but we don't really need them currently. And over here, there's not much I can do. In the steel, right, in steel there is, well, we got the steel mine already underway in here. Not very quickly, mind you, still got 2,700 work days remaining. But it's a bit of a, like, a way to soak some of the workers brought in here if there's no room in other buildings. And it at least allows us to get some more, and there's a bit more wood coming in. Right, and we've got the refueling station in here, so that is active, so they are at least, I think we are slowly catching up with the wood production. Well, it depends, I suppose, how much workers we get in here, but yeah. Still okay in terms of boards. Is that one selling more? I believe it is. So how bad is the... Okay, so we did lose 560 rubles last month, so unfortunately not a profitable month, but we did at least get some exports done there. It's just the foreign manpower is costing a bit too much for us, actually, right now. I suppose we're using some of that for... Actually, we're not using that for construction, it's just the productions over here. But I guess it's, well, we've got a little bit crops there. Might be that we didn't sell as much, so if we go last month, crops did make about half the money, but if we go back a month, we made a lot more money from selling boards. And this time around, we just sold about a third of it. What we could have. But I guess we still got this one at least selling some boards in there, so, you know, there's a trickle of income coming in. Well, we're getting some more harvest done in there, so that's good. And how's the road construction going in here? So we have started working on the road heading to the orchard, which we're not going to build yet. But that's going to allow us to get a tiny bit of food. It's not going to be like a very good amount of food. It might not actually be even sufficient amount of food. But it's one way to have like, I think what we might do, actually, I think we are probably going to use the prisoners to run the cattle field over here, at least partially. But of course, the thing is, we won't have access to a prison bus until like, I think 1916 or 17, somewhere around there. So yeah, that's gonna take a while. That reminds me, I don't suppose we put in any orphanage anywhere, did we? That's one of the things that, while we don't necessarily need, it wouldn't necessarily hurt to have. There's an amphitheater over there, that's a clinic. Tavern, that's more housing. Party members housing. That's the basketball area. So I don't think we have a orphanage yet. And that's something that will need a road access. But like, orphanages are a little bit tricky because they can sometimes cause too much criminality. if you don't keep it properly staffed, but at the same time, it can also reduce the population loss that you have, so it might cause a bit more work for the police officers, and of course, like, judges and such, and of course, prison warders potentially as well down the line, but at the same time, it allows the population to grow real quick, and since we are going to start with just only 100 workers, and we're not going to import any more than that, we're going to just let the population grow naturally after that, which means that the progress is going to be a bit slow, but I think we need to go on to try to get the population growth be as high as we can really get it to be. So I guess we should probably go ahead and plop down a orphanage somewhere. I think a smaller one will do, for the time being at least. Should there... I guess we could place it somewhere in here. I think somewhere over there could probably work in terms of placing. Okay, yeah, no, it's not too bad of control lines in here either. Get the road connection through there. We'll just need to have some vehicles provide the stuff in here, but that should be fine. And then, actually, yeah, no, it should be fine. We may need to have a distribution office here somewhere near the town at least, and potentially another warehouse that we just bring into this, or bring the stuff in. We got the, oh right, that's the bus end station. Right. Things like, where could we have a nice location? I guess there would be room over here, wouldn't there? Somewhere, although getting a road into there is going to be a bit tricky, unless we take the road connection over there. But that might not really help us, and then that starts to get a little bit steep. Could potentially, of course, just have the... I mean, we've got the storage over here, which we can utilize. Just have the vehicles from further away bringing the stuff there, and then we have a distribution office closer that is going to pick up the food from the orchard, and potentially the meat from here, and then also we got the vineyard over here as well, which is going to provide us a bit of alcohol. It's probably not going to be a huge amount, mind you, but hopefully it's going to be enough to at least get going. We have put down at least a little bit of the garbage stands, but I don't think we have quite enough necessarily. Where's the... so here's the clinic. Can we put in a... oh, that's a stand for big garbage. Okay, so that's going to be basically covering all of the main street in here. I'm going to probably call this the main street, not that it's necessary. Well, it's the street to the bus platform, so that's probably going to be where most of the traffic within the town is going to be, at least in terms of vehicles. There's a small garbage collection point over here for these houses. We do not have any garbage collection over here yet. But that could be probably fixed fairly easily. Let's just go ahead and... I guess one of these could probably do. No, we probably need to go for a little bit smaller. Yeah, something like this could work in here. I'm just going to place it down. I'm not going to connect it quite yet. Because there's not really huge urgency on that one. But it's just place down it there, reserve the space. But yeah, I'm hoping that today we'll get at least some groundworks going already on buildings. Probably not a huge amount yet. But I'm hoping that we can at least get started on some other things. So let's go to the horse feeding station there. We got some of these roads. I do plan on upgrading this road into gravel at some point. Just putting in the signs there to make sure that the trucks do not move through here. So that they'll be using the sort of main road in there. Just to sort of reduce the traffic over here. But the buses will probably use this one, especially when we start bringing workers for this thing from the town itself. Which admittedly is a bit far away. So I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be the ideal location. I was thinking, where exactly could we even... like, we've got this connection, of course, but we might want to utilize a different connection somewhere. Which, it's a bit tricky, actually. I suppose one of the things that we could do is just get a road through here somewhere, like connect to that point. Connect in here and then have a connection over there, for example, somewhere. That would allow them to at least drive in and then probably exit through the other side or something. Or we can... I mean, it is facing down this way already, so they can go through the roundabout, get in here, and then exit back through there. It will probably work. Right, so we've got a bit of a road upgrade in here. We've got the horse feeding station already sorted out. And of course, we're currently working on so many roads. These are the open holes. Let's see, do we have... yeah, we've got 3 open holes. We might want to get another dumper in here, quite frankly. Because I suspect that we are going to need that. So let's go ahead and get one more dumper. Let's go with the 2-horse numbers. They're not going to be the fastest or the highest capacity, but it's, you know, it just keeps the main road speed the same across all, or most of the vehicles at least, and thus there's going to be less traffic issues because of the speed or the discrepancies. Oh, and that's bringing in a bit of crops for the so that's, it's only 59 rubles actually. I mean, it's still almost 20 rubles per ton, isn't it? Yeah, 19.25. So it's not bad amount of money. I mean, if we consider the amount of, like, we've got about 300 tons of crops right now. So if we were to sell all of that, it would be, it's actually not that massive amounts. Let's see, that would be a bit shy of, 6,000 rubles. Nothing massive, but I guess it would still be covering some of the expenditures at least. And that is already picking up some more grain, so that's good. Or crops. And then, how are we doing on the... Ah, so that's waiting for more gravel. I was going to let them work on the roads first for a little while, but eventually, once we get opportunity for it, we're going to start working on at least the... I guess the bus platform, then probably the fire station. We need to have the... well, I suppose the produce exchange, the clinic, I suppose the kindergarten. Where do we have? Right, there's a kindergarten, at least one of them. So we want to have that one, and then some of the housing. We can start then setting up a little bit of people living in here, working the basic stuff so that we can get the stuff rolling. We'll probably need 2 buildings for housing. The shopkeeper housing, I think that's got room for, is it 70 or 80? Hold on a minute. It's the worker shopkeeper 70, okay. So that's 70. And then we've got the... I suppose we'll actually get the party members housing over here built as well. Oh, and one of the things that I should probably make sure is not get citizens in here. I'm going to get them myself so we can make sure that there's only a certain amount of people moving in. There's the second kindergarten, that's the clinic. Construction office for the buses to pick up workers from there. These get... Oh, right, actually, let me make sure that I just disable that so any future buildings won't have that turned on. I also need to go through some of these, so I think that's those 3. So we had, that's the... Ah, that's the cold storage, right? That's a house, that's already disabled. That's the small theater. Basketball, there's the obelisk. That's the orphanage. So that's a library in there. There's another clinic, there's some housing over here. Is that one, that's a tavern, right? That's good. So I think we turned off that already for most of the housing. Another thing that, of course, we need to do is we need to build the water substation and the sewage tanks in here already. We don't necessarily need to get the entire system yet, just have those 2 in there so that it's going to make the logistics a bit easier for ourselves. But later on we can improve on that. Let me just go ahead and double check. So we've got a fairly good range over here, so we should be able to cover the entire town at least. That's good. We did these roads already. So where's the other... Oh, right, that's the digging crew there. And that's the digging crew. And we did get an extra truck to deliver some gravel. Speaking of which, how much do we have in here right now? Still got plenty, so actually we are still holding on to, or keeping on top of the demand, more or less. Of course, the thing is that the distances are pretty long now to deliver everything. So it does have some issues there. Well, I guess it's alright. So that will be done soon enough. Let me just double check. So the jail will not be built, the smokehouse will not be built, the factory connection will not be built. That one's not connected yet. This one, the windmill monument, does not need to be built yet. We will hold on on that one. The garbage stand over here might not be a terrible idea. Is that right? There's the wine house, right? So these are not actually being built yet. In which case, this one doesn't need to be built yet either. There's going to be several bits of roads over here, which I guess this one doesn't need to be built yet. That one does need to be. This one wouldn't be a bad idea to get the construction office in here. And then, because that's going to allow us to use some domestic workforce quickly for construction, at least around this town. If there's construction work being done in here, we can then use the foreign workforce for at least a little while. Because thus far this year we've lost about 1,000 rubles. But it's not really that bad, considering we're still just building our first town. It's to be expected. But we don't really have that large variety in the stuff that we produce either. There we go, that's going to be a little bit more board sold. Is that? I think the board's price may have dropped a little bit. Oh yeah. 13.20, or yeah, 13.12 rubles per ton now. It was over 14, wasn't it? Or was it even? Well, it was a decent bit higher at least, but it's not that anymore. We do have the horse feeding yard over here still, which of course has plenty of crops, which they are slowly using in the refueling of things. And then over here, that one's been supplied, so we can refuel there, and that seems to go in there right now. So that's good. Is that one? So all of these vehicles are still using this mud road over here, which to be fair is not great when there's rain. Oh. Hello, Berliz's Twitch. How's it going? Right, so that's the digging crew coming in for another road. I don't... Is it this one? No, it's not that one. I actually wonder which road is it going to be going to. I guess we'll find out soon enough. In work time. Very good. So which road is this one then? Oh, right. Is the road connection going to the police stables? Well then. We might also go ahead and put a smaller road connection in here later on. We're not going to put that there yet. But we'll be able to actually combine these two nodes then into just one area. That is then going to be considered as just one crossroad section there. So it makes the traffic flow slightly smoother, hopefully. Well, there we go. So that's been sorted out already. We still need a bit more gravel in here, which I believe is... yeah, it's probably heading in here. Yep, it is. How far is it? Oh, actually, just behind the corner. So that's going to be another road built very shortly. And then we can get some more work done in here. So we're not going to build this area quite yet. We will get it done once we get the more crucial basics done. Which is, again, I suppose the school, clinic, kindergarten, some housing, the shopping center, and the fire station. I suspect that those are the primary things that we need. Like, of course, we then want to focus on getting some sort of culture and sports facilities up as well, as soon as possible. Oh, and of course the water and sewage substations over here. But that shouldn't be too big of an issue. So I don't know if we'll get to that point today, but we're definitely trying to. The sooner we get some workforce to use... Oh, right, yeah, so the bus platform is definitely going to be needed as well. That's going to take a decent bit of steel, actually. That could be an issue. But I guess we'll just have to... kind of weather the expenses for a little while. Of course, the expenses aren't really that bad yet. So at least we're in a good shape in that regard. Ah, there we go. So we've got 28 tons of wood here. That is a weird thing, but I suppose it could be... Oh, good try. It would be quite tricky, I reckon. But good luck. I suppose it's probably not impossible. You just need to build your power pretty much the first thing. And then you can go from there. But yeah, it might be that there's some... like changes in the code or something like that that would change it. Oh, there we go. So we are getting a bit of wood stockpile in there as well. We don't have any workers in here right now, do we? No, we don't have anyone to be repaired there. Oh, we did have one of the dumpers already. Okay. Do we have any of the dumpers in here that still need to be repaired? They probably are, aren't they? No, they're not too bad. 36%. Could still be repaired, but it's not the worst thing to happen. Oh, and there's another 3.1 tons of crops, another 60 rubles. I also have a border was in Africa. In front of Gibraltar as an area. Right, so you need to build a bridge into Spain first to get in there. I see. That's gonna be tricky. No concrete mixer. Oh, right. Yeah, there's a few vehicles, especially in like if you start in 1960, there's going to be some vehicles that you won't be able to get from the western borders unless you have some mods that add them, but not even all the mods necessarily add the required things. So first a wooden bridge. Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. Okay, so we've got these. Do we have... Well, some of these could maybe be repaired every now and then, but they're not in a desperate situation yet. How's the road construction now? We've gotten that built already. That one's got a road construction crew. Oh, and there we go. The digging crew is coming in for that one. That's going to be the construction office in here, which actually that is something we do want to build. Of course, we won't be using it instantly, but at some point, yeah. First the wooden bridge and second the coal power plant. Yep, sounds about right. Somehow we do need to get some connections through here as well, but initially I think the mud road connection will be fine because it's just a very tiny connection in there. But once we have some workers available, but like there's no point in us bringing foreign workers all the way from the border down here to work on a tiny bit of road. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We still have a crane over there, plus we've got another 2 crane in here, actually. We don't necessarily need all 3 of them, to be fair, but we've got them. Is that one... Right, there's got some harvesting speed in there. How much do we have crops right now? Ooh, 314 tons. How much do we have in the fields currently? We have, some. Actually, we've gotten some harvest from here, I guess, relatively recently as well. So, yeah, we've got a decent bit in there. Yeah, true. You won't really be able to make money with that unless you get all the way to the point of making the, Hold on, there was a research for making the border connection, wasn't there? Let's see. I know that there's one for oil. Oh yeah, there is a power grid connection, so you'll just need to do a whole lot of research to do that, but that's not going to be an early money maker in your case. Right, we have no firefighters in here. We do still have someone bringing the workers, though. Yeah, we've got this one, but it's just not very often. And it's dividing the workers kind of equally. I think what I might do is I'm going to go ahead and do some changes in here. So we'll put in like 1 multiplier on these. My station is going to get weighted at, I think, 3, and then we'll put in 1 in the veterinarian. So it takes a bit more into the fire station now. Of course, it's not a direct connection because we haven't gotten around to build this yet. Almost 250 steel to have power. Yeah, that is a bit expensive. I reckon that if you're not careful, you might have to take some loans to get things moving. But no, once you do have the things going, I suppose you're going to get at least a decent bit of things with all of that. Ah, there we go. So there's the workers coming in. There should be at least probably 5 of the workers going for this one. Are they? It's only 2 actually. I suppose it's just. Wait, no. Oh, they're going around this way, aren't they? There we go. There's actually 6 of them came in here. Well, fair enough. Yeah, that is definitely something that you need to have, especially with something that expensive. You do not want to rebuild that unless you absolutely have to. And the cost of even just having foreign workers as firemen is not that high compared to the amount of steel that you need. Oh, but there we go. So there is at least a little bit of woodcutters in here. I'm going to reduce the worker numbers over here to like 3. Because most of the time they're not going to be cutting down a lot of trees. They're just, you know, sitting there. Because once it reaches like a certain point in there, they just won't be cutting more. That one went to refuel, and now I should be heading out to pick up some wood. There we go. Did we have a decent bit in there? I suppose, did we stop the export with these? Ah, we did. Okay, let's go ahead and export some more boards for a little while. Yeah, that's probably going to be a restart at that point. I personally don't play with the fire. Oh, fire's at normal, and I don't actually have the global events at all. But that's about it. Everything else is more or less maxed out. Because we play on, like, the early start does mean that the vehicles are pretty cheap. And we can use the crops as fuel, or technically speaking, we can use the crops as fuel for even later vehicles. But we are going to phase out the horse feeding stations once we start phasing out the horse cars in general. Okay, so we've got at least currently some decent bit of wood in there. There's going to be probably quite a bit of traffic going in and out of here to sell some of the boards, which I'm guessing are going to start making... Oh, we actually made 17 ruble profit last month. It ain't much, but it is a profit. And then this month we are getting at least a little bit of... well, probably a bit more now that we're selling a lot more boards. So actually, if we have a look at last year, we made 17 or 18.7 thousand rubles from exports. This year we've, thus far in 3 months, gotten 4,000. Of course, that is with the less board exports, so I think we are probably going to surpass that one. Or at least reach somewhat similar numbers if we can keep on exporting the wood. Have to research wind turbines and let it merge into buildings like a fireman's heating plant. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Okay, it's 2,600. And there's a bit more gravel coming in here, so we can construct the road going to the construction plant. And I suppose that's also going to open up the footpaths in here. Oh man, there's going to be so much construction sites in here. We did build that road, at least. Now we're working on the road towards the cattle field, which we're not going to actually build yet. But we'll just have the road in there, so we don't need to worry about that later on. And I suppose another thing that I might want to do in here... which one of these is going to be the primary road? I think we're going to have the... Yeah, 1 and 3 are going to be the primaries there. There we go. That seems about right. Although, it's not really an easy turn into there, but it'll do. There's a bit more gravel coming in for, well, yet another one of the roads. That's going to be the case for a long while here, I reckon. Ooh, there we go. Already at 280 rubles for this month. Of course, we're only halfway through the month, so that might still fluctuate a bit. But there's a lot more traffic to the storage over here. As long as we don't empty that too much, we should be mostly fine. And we are set that to... Hold on a minute. Over here, right, so we don't actually want to necessarily sell the wood, but we're not selling the wood, actually. We're just... Oh, right, yeah, we deliver some of the wood for the veterinarian over here. I don't think it actually uses the wood. We have the option, at least. So the timer, it's basically just a, it's a separate program that allows you to edit the save file. And then you just type in the year and or select the year and the month that you want to play in. You can change the settings of the save as well. And it's not really that difficult. I think if you search in the workshop, so it's the program that you download, I believe it is in GitHub. So you just go there, but like there is a guide in the Steam workshop about early starts, and it links to the GitHub page, and then you just download that one, and you don't need to install it or anything. You can just run it and then select the correct folder or correct file for the save, and then you just edit it. So there's a few steps to go through, but it's nothing too complicated. But of course you'll need a whole lot of different mods to add in the vehicles that you'll need for the early start, and maybe some buildings for immersion. Okay, so we've got a bit of boards there. We've got quite a bit to sell in here. Yeah, no worries. It took a little bit of searching for myself as well when I started doing an early start, which was the previous playthrough that we did. But then we decided to when I realized that they had added in the with the Biomes mod the random maps already at the 1.0.0.3, I believe. We're now at the 0.0.4, but yeah, so I realized that they had added in the random map, so I decided to restart. We had run into some problems as well in the previous run. Although we were trying to fix them, but it's just was a bit slow progress there. But yeah, so we've got at least some of the roads already built in here. We're not starting on most of the things in here, admittedly. That one's... Oh, right, this pre-construction office is set... Oh, right, the pre-construction office is the one over here. Right, so that's with the digging crews. But the one with the dumpers has not been assigned to any of that yet. Ah, right, I see. We need to actually increase the radius a little bit. That'll probably help. At least in theory. I don't think there's that much incompatible stuff. Like, the change of the year is just, it just changes some values within the save file. It doesn't, as far as I can tell, it doesn't cause too many issues. One problem that it does cause is when you have, like, a look at the all-time crafts in here. Actually... Oh, wait, no, the best way to see that is actually in the prices. So it will draw in the years that you play through, and then it will, because you need to start still at 1960 or whatever year you start at, then it will draw in up to the accurate data, and then it has just one more data point at the start of the game, basically. So then we'll just have this line in here in between, but like that's minor issues really. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind is that especially if you start at like 1900 as we did in here. You kind of have to start on the Soviet side because a lot of the mods do not have the required vehicles for the NATO side. And even if you start at like 1920 or something like that, where there are some vehicles available in the workshop that will be available like for the NATO side somewhere around 1917, I think. Or somewhere around there, but the problem with those is like they have very, very tiny capacity, so it's gonna be really slow progress. Like actually the horse-drawn carts are even better than the 4Ts that we used in the previous playthrough. So the first price is basically at the end of the graph there because of the 1960s, and then you change the start date, and then it starts tracking the prices accordingly at the start of the game. So it's just the end of the graph. Until you reach 1960, it will have a bit of a extra point in the end there, basically. And it can seem a little bit odd, but it makes sense, admittedly. Because it will always have a thing. And of course, there's another thing with the save editor. You can actually reset the economy as well if you want to. Like, if the inflation gets just way too big, or like if you, for example, if you want to make sure that you don't get too far ahead and you just keep changing the year back to like say 1950 or 1960 or something like that, or you want to keep it or not want to hit the year 2000 for example and keep changing it back, you can reset the economy a little bit so that it doesn't mean that at like 1978 you have everything costing tens of millions of rubles or something like that. But yeah, it's a very handy tool to use. And it's definitely not hard to use either. It's just, you need to know where the save files are. And then you just need to select the binary file in there. But like this, when you have open the folder through the program, it will only show that one file type. So you know that that is the correct one. You just need to find the correct folder. And that's it. There we go. So how we're looking on wood right now. We've got about 50 tons of wood extra at the storage there. And we've got a few tons over here. We still got a decent bit of boards to sell. How we're looking on... Oh, we made almost 600 rubles profit last month. Well, there we go. We've got quite a bit of traffic moving through here. So how much did we actually sell last month? We made 1300 rubles from boards and 720 rubles from crops. So the crops aren't really the biggest money maker for us, but we do get some money from it. Of course, we only have like one or... Well, actually, no, we do have like, I think 2 vehicles selling the crops. Could potentially add in a 3rd one for that, just outside of the distribution offices, to get some more throughput, because we are still gathering quite a bit of crops in here. How much cost after 20 years operations of coal power plants? It's probably going to be quite a bit. Let's see, so we've got... Oh, I think we've got one of the concrete trucks already busy somewhere. Aha, yeah, we've got a concrete over here at the construction office already. We're now getting some of the asphalt. We'll still need to get another truckload of asphalt, but then we can do the groundworks completed there. It's not going to be too expensive. That's going to be having room for 6 vehicles in here. That's mostly going to be buses. I don't think we'll need to get any vehicles there yet, but I do want to have that at least available. I don't suppose... We are going to build that one. This one can be delayed for a little bit, because we're not going to get to the cold storage yet. But once we do, we'll of course want to build that one. This road will be built. That one's going to be built. That one's going to have to be built for the... Oh, is that a different road? It is. Aha, there we go. It's going to be slightly better. So we'll have the clinic there. And actually, this modern clinic does actually have relatively good capacity per worker, but it cannot have too many workers. So overall, it's not going to be necessarily enough for this town, but it's going to be at least enough for our initial population for a few years, I reckon. So I'm not too worried about that one. But there we go. The ground works at the construction office are fully underway. This one's still going to require a bit more gravel over here, that bit of road. But we are slowly getting towards the bus platform already. I don't suppose we've started work on any of the footpaths yet. We have been assigned to some of them, but we haven't built any of them yet, no. Actually, we don't need this side yet. Similarly, we don't... Well, actually, that's not connected through there all that easily. We can probably suspend the construction of that one. That one's going to be our electric stuff. Oh, that's another thing that we'll, of course, need in here. Electricity. I don't suppose we need to get through here. Well, there's a second kindergarten over there. But we can probably go ahead and just... I mean, the amphitheater is going to be quite useful. But we can probably go without that for a little while. So we'll suspend that one. Just to make sure that we do get to the substation there. But not necessarily too many other things yet. Right, how we're looking at... Okay, 360 tons of crops still. Plus another 18 tons. So that's a fairly good amount of crops to sell. It's not going to be a huge monetary value yet. Unless the price starts increasing. It is 19.5 rubles now. So it is actually climbing upwards. Can't really say the same about the board price though. I suppose we... Actually, let me have a look. Prices. We'll look at the all-time. Which actually, I think... Ah, there we go. That helps. Right, so... Board. There we go. So it is not looking all that... Actually, it's probably helping if we just select this side of the graph there. So... It has been on a downward spiral right now. It peaked at, actually over here, it peaked at 16 rubles. Then we started selling a lot of boards. And it dropped down to 11.5 or so. Then it started climbing up again. Last year. And then we started selling it quite a bit over there. So it dropped. Then we stopped selling the board at least as much. So it went up. And now we started selling a bit more. And it's going down again. Okay, so we might not be getting quite as much money as I was hoping for from there, but I guess it's not the end of the world. As long as we're making a tiny bit of money, that's fine. We might just crush... our future economy might be crumbling already at this point, but we'll get through it at some point. Of course, right now, we don't really have a whole lot of things that we're going to be doing for export. Another thing that I could maybe do... We do have access to some wood over there. And then, of course, we've got some bricks there. We are going to need a whole lot of bricks, to be fair. So if we were to use the brick kiln with wood in here, Technically speaking, it could just connect to the woodcutting boats directly. Then it would still require a road connection. Plus, I suppose the footpath connection is going to be tricky. Alternatively, we could just connect in here to this storage, and that should be connecting to the road there, yeah. So potentially just deposit some of it in there. Or something, and then deliver that, but I'm probably not going to build that quite yet. I want to get some more work done in here, so I do not want to distract the stuff quite yet. Oh, well, there we go. So that's already taking some steel and bricks and boards. Oh, we just picked up the digging crew. We've got this crew still waiting for another 1.1 tons of gravel. We stopped the road construction there. We haven't gone... Right, so we did stop that production. We are going to get some of the footpaths in here. Because, you know, those are not really going to be in the way or anything. Although, technically speaking, we could just turn the priority down on these. Because these aren't really that important yet. But they will be useful to have later on. Oh, and there's a bit of steel coming in. There we go. And that's, well, it's going to be enough for the bricklaying portion. Of course, we still need more bricks and boards. But boards we produce ourselves. The bricks aren't luckily that expensive yet. Now, of course, that price might be going up. But we can probably avoid the worst of it later on. How's the fire station? It's a bit empty right now. We still haven't built the footpath over here either. It's a medium priority, but I suppose it's not really... Yeah, it has been assigned there. Also, we got another garbage stand over here, which, to be fair, I guess... Was this supposed to be within... I don't think it's going to be within reach of that one. So it might not really be helping too much other than the fire station, but that doesn't produce too much waste yet. So I guess we're mostly fine. Right, how bad are the wear and tear on the dumpers now? There's some at 39%. So what I might do is once this one's delivered its cargo, let's go out and drive along here. It's not exactly the finest of roads. But we'll be delivering this bit of gravel, and then we can start to probably send this to be repaired. We got the other one already repaired, so we can send that one to take this place. I think the mud road is slightly levitating in here from this angle. Same with the gravel road, actually. We can see slightly below or underneath there. Oh, well, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but it's a funny little detail. Or glitch there, I suppose. But from a top-down perspective, you don't really spot that. Right, we're almost at the roundabout. We can see that there's another hill to the right, and also further back to the left. So there's a decent bit of a fairly sizable hills here. Some of them will have minables. I'm not entirely sure if all of them. Probably not all of them. Alright, and we did turn this into a proper roundabout already. Also, that sign was in the middle of the road there. Similar. Oh, no. It's because the thing is, of course, floating. So it's deceiving a little bit. Okay, never mind then. Right, let's go ahead and... Oh, is that... Wait a minute. Oh, it's the footpath over there you brought the stuff into. Right, let's go ahead and send this one to the depot over there. We can then order the repair of that one. That can be moved in instead. That way the people working at the horse veterinarian can actually do some work. Not necessarily much of it, but at least some modicum of work can be done. And then the iron mine, we've still got over 2,600 workers remaining in there. It's going to take a while. But yeah, if we have a look at from this angle, I think it's actually, when we're not in the horse camera angle, everything is looking mostly fine. I mean, this one's... Well, that one's still a little bit on the road, I guess. Actually, I think what it is technically speaking, it's aiming in there. But then it shows a little bit from underneath the... Well, depending on the angle that you're watching from. Alright then, so we've got some of the footpaths already started in here. That one's at least got some more gravel. Oh, that reminds me, do we need these? Oh, no, there's the wires underneath there. I guess that footpath wouldn't hurt. And this one, I guess, yeah, we can build these. There's no biggie. And, oh, there we go, more bricks coming for the construction office. We haven't actually started working on this yet. Although, we probably could. At the same time, actually, I don't think we necessarily want to build it quite yet. Because the sooner we build that, the sooner it's going to require maintenance. So it might actually be best for us to build the things like the fire station first, and as well as the bus platform. And after that, we can then start working on things like the produce exchange, the clinic, probably the kindergarten, or one of these kindergartens. Actually, this one might be the easier one to get to. Right, yeah, we'll build that one. Go ahead and cancel this thing for a little while, and we can probably go ahead and just suspend the footpath connection through there. That's going to be some sports area there, so that should be fine. And then in that case, I guess we do need to build the footpath through here. But I guess the amphitheater we don't really need yet, so we'll close that one off the list. And then that one we can probably suspend for the time being. There we are. And of course, we'll eventually get our water treatment plant over here as well. Where did we... Oh, right, so we had the... we didn't actually get the footpaths in here yet, did we? No, we did not. Now, the question is, of course, where are we going to connect these into? We are probably going to have a road going down this way. Not entirely sure what we're going to do with this, but I guess what we'll do is we'll do something like this. Go ahead and get a footpath connection between that, and then we can get one all the way to there. Then maybe we can have a connection through here at some point as well, but we'll start with that. Of course, we're not going to build that road yet. But once we're ready to start getting our water production properly, then that is going to be what we'll do. Right, so it's already June this year. How are we looking on money-wise? Last month was a bit of a deficit, not a massive amount, but this month is hopefully going to be covering for that. This year total, we're deficit of 450 rubles. Oh no. Well, it's not really that bad actually, but yeah. It is what it is. So this one I wanted to go ahead and repair. It's got a little bit wear and tear. Almost 40%. So if we just fix that, it should be done fairly quickly. And thus it will then be ready to replace one of the dumpers in here when one of the other ones needs repairs. Speak of the devil. Oh, no, that's actually the open hole trucks. Right. We've got plenty of crops there. How are we looking on boards? We are selling quite a bit. We might have to reduce the sales again a little bit, although I suppose we've got the settings in such a way that we're not going to be using all the boards in here. The problem might be that we're using all the wood for producing the boards, but I suppose we're not using the wood for anything else, really. At least right now, so that's actually not a terrible thing to do, I would say. So how are we looking on the... It's 37 rubles now per... 4-horse wagon, so that's actually not a great price over there. It's 11 point. Okay, yeah, we need to stop selling all of that. Right. So in that case, stop selling the boards. Well, it's just it's crashing the price really, so we can't really do that right now. The crops, on the other hand, are still their price is still growing. So we could maybe get another truck to. I mean, we've got the we've got a 4-horse carriage in here that is set to be doing... Oh, that's part of the distribution office. We could have a separate one that is doing a regular trip from there, because there is still an increase on that. So let's go ahead and... No, that's the... Where's the depot? Because we've got this one in here. Also, what's the waste wagon over here? That's just doing nothing currently. Alright then, right, so let's go ahead and buy ourselves a new covered hole. We'll go with the 4-horse covered hole. It's a bit more expensive, but it will pay itself back by selling the crops over time, so it's not going to be too bad. And that's going to allow us to make sure that we don't run too full on these fields in here. Although, technically speaking, at least right now in the jungle map or the Asia map, right now we're not playing, technically speaking, the Asia map, it's the jungle biome. But anyway, so over here the crops do not actually wither away. So, technically speaking, you can just have unlimited amount of crops on the fields if you want to, but of course, you probably want to utilize the crops from there rather than just let them sit there. We've got plenty of fertilizer, and... Oh, right, we're actually doing some harvests, I guess. Or are we? So this one, they should be harvesting it. There's a vehicle on the way. Oh, yeah, there's the harvester heading in there. It hasn't gotten here yet. Oh, it's this one, isn't it? Yep. That's the harvester. How much do we get? That's another 3 tons. Did we get the wagon in here? Well, we did, but it's going to refuel first. Then it's going to be sent there. We'll also set up a route to go ahead and pick up some crops from here, and then go ahead and sell it over there. So that way we can at least get some steady bit of income without interfering with the other logistical things for like making sure that the horse feeding stations are supplied and all that. Speaking of which, are we... it's this one, isn't it? So we're not buying any crops. That's actually good. We are selling some, of course. But how is the grain storage? Right, so that is actually set to be emptied entirely. So they are already moving as much as they can. Well, when they are available. But adding in another vehicle for this probably won't hurt. Take crops, wait until loaded, then go over there and unload. And off you go. So that should be... how much is it again per wagon load? So we paid over 1,600 rubles for that one. But this one's 61. So let's see. I guess we can see the exact number over here. So it's 1,628 rubles. 1,628 rubles divided by 61 rubles. So with this current price, it would take about 27 trips to pay itself back. That's actually going to be less than a year. So that's actually not bad. Plus, you know, it takes a little bit of fuel cost, but we use crops as a fuel right now for these wagons, so it's not exactly expensive. We produce it ourselves with very little impact. I mean, we do need to buy some fertilizer, but that's also dirt cheap. Literally. Okay, so how are we looking on the Unsung Valley over here? We have gotten another bit of... well, actually, no, we had that road built already earlier. We've got some more gravel for the footpaths in here. We've got a lot of gravel on these two. We've done the construction office. Alright, so we could continue or start building that already. But where are we? Or rather, where are the digging crews right now? Oh, there's one. That reminds me. Well, I suppose we do want to build these at some point. Of course, we can determine when to actually build them directly. So is this one? I guess we don't need this footpath yet, do we? Or this one. Well, actually, that's not going to be connected anyway. Then I believe we've also suspended that one, just in case. Although I think we had already some that we had suspended. At least that one. Okay, so it's going to be divert the stuff in here. I guess, technically speaking, this one doesn't need to be built yet either. Yet. Eventually it will be. But there we go. I suppose, actually, we do still need to get some stuff in here. So I don't know if we are going to be successful with all of this. Another thing is the, not actually entirely sure. So is this this is the V2, so it can be placed basically anywhere. I'm not entirely sure if they'll actually start constructing it. It might not be registering the connections, so that could be a problem. We may need to redo this central bit over here, one way or the other. Or like the, yeah, so this compound in here. Well, since we haven't built anything, it should be doable. We might have to remove some of these footpath designations, admittedly. It can be done. If the need arises. Which it might. Because I suppose one of the things that we could do, if we need to get a road connection for that. So there's 2 variants of that. If you have a look at the education, so it's headquarters of this one with a road connection. But I had it in my off-camera playthrough with this footpath connection only one. It can be placed, well, it actually can't be placed everywhere, but it can be placed in a lot of places. Which actually, no, it seems to be fine, at least in terms of the hitbox. But it does have, or it did have the problem that they just couldn't recognize the connection going in there for whatever reason, so they didn't start building it. Which was a bit of a problem. Had to do some changes here and there then. That's actually one of the things that we do want to get this HQ built relatively quickly so we can get some education going, because we are going to need some experts. We're probably going to start with, like, I don't know, maybe 30 or so out of the 100. So it's okay start, but of course we need experts for the school, for the clinic, and then of course for the HQ itself at least. So that's already going to take a decent bit of the experts away from the sort of worker numbers there. Or like extra experts there. So if there's anything else like the police work, for example, that will require some as well. That's not something that we can deliver, unfortunately. At least not initially. Later on, maybe. But yeah, once we've done some of the construction work in here, we'll probably plant some trees as well. Just to make sure that it doesn't look quite as barren as it looks right now. I mean, there's a bit of forest area, or a wooded area over here. Another area over there, although this one's probably going to be built over at some point. I might leave at least some wooded areas just for the looks, and of course we are going to be planting some extra later on. But that's not something we need to worry about quite yet. We might also plant some more trees around here, now that I think of it. We did plant in a lot of trees to the Soviet side of things. Still got 700 tons of wood in the forest though, plus another 14,000 or 14,500 tons to cut down later. That's fairly significant amount, I would say. Right, so is that... yeah, that just brought in some more workers in here. We still haven't built the footpath in there. The fire station, it's got a lot of workers at least, which does give me a little bit of peace of mind at least, because otherwise, even when there's a fire, which I'm sure that there's going to be at least one fire today, then there's a risk that we'd lose that building. Do we have the excavation or the demolition office somewhere already? That's a road depot. I don't think we actually have a demolition office yet. That's something that we might want to build. Can we get... well, I suppose technically we could have a small one over here. Or is that one... so that's the construction office with the digging crews and all that. We might remove those eventually. Well, speaking of which, that's taking another digging crew over here. So we've got that bit of road build. That one hasn't been started yet. But we haven't gotten the stuff for that one yet. The orphanage has not been started yet either. Which actually, I should probably make sure that that doesn't get built yet. Right, so we do need some digging crews in here, including for the footpath, admittedly. And that road is going to require something, but that's still waiting for some more gravel to be brought. Oh! Oh, right, we got the road up to the transformer now, okay. I mean, that's good. So that does mean that we need to do a bit of work for the transformer itself to get some power, but that is going to be our power line going into the wrong. Okay, well, we can at least do the digging work for that. We'll eventually, hopefully, start on the second one as well. But apparently not yet. Because that one still needs another 4 wagon loads of gravel to get this done. Well, the groundwork's done. After that, it's actually not going to be that big of a work to get the wire installed in there. But of course, since we are installing it a little bit further underground there, it does have some problems with that, or it's a bit more work to get in there. But it does also mean that it's going to be less in the way of things when we're building stuff. So, you know, it's just a bit of extra work for now for a lot less extra trouble placing things down later on. Although I suppose it's mostly following through areas that we've placed the buildings already into. So it probably wouldn't be that difficult, but it's still probably going to be fine. Ah, there's that, that's a digging crew going for... oh, that's the second medium wire then? No? Oh, is the... oh. Right, it's this one. Yeah. Oh, we don't have the gravel there, though. Oh, there is a dumper heading in here. Okay, then. Well, that's one of the things that we probably didn't actually need to build yet, but I suppose having that wire built won't hurt. We do need to build it sooner or later anyway. But there's, of course, a lot of other things that we might need to build. I wonder, actually. We do not have an open hole truck right now available. We could, of course, use one of these. Oh, you've got some boards in there. Okay, well, that's probably fine. You're empty. So we could buy another digging crew. I suppose, actually, we can start working on the construction office already. I have a plan. So we'll get that one built. We can get a digging crew and a open hole truck in there. Maybe actually get more of the digging crews in there. But we can then start doing a lot of the work in here without having to drive all the way through here. And that's honestly going to be probably a lot better option in the long run. So I guess what we can do is we can have one open hull, 2 digging crews, and then maybe 3 buses in there. And those are going to be then doing the work. I mean, the buses aren't going to be set there yet, but actually maybe... So 6 vehicles, 2 buses, 1 crane. Then the 2 digging crews, or at least we can start with 1 digging crew, but maybe 2 digging crews right now. Later on we can then shuffle those around. Maybe to the construction office down here, which should have room for 12 vehicles, so it's not huge, but it will be good for a while. I'm looking on... Oh, we did make a bit of a deficit last month. Of course, that was with the vehicle being built or purchased. At least one of the vehicles being purchased there. But we have actually made already 10,000 rubles from export, of which boards were, of course, the big portion. The crops are also increasing a little bit, the market share there, so to speak. How are we, or rather, how is the crops price looking like? It has started going down a tiny bit. It was 19.6 something, like 6.5 or somewhere around there last time we checked. So it's gone down a little bit, so we are exporting maybe a little bit too much, but not too much. Just, honestly, just about enough. We're still selling some boards. How's the board price, actually? It is now 12.5, so that has probably started bouncing back again. Let's actually have a look. Prices, I guess this year. And then boards, actually, it probably helps if we just take this thing. So, yeah, it's now growing again. Not very rapidly, mind you, but I think, like, by the end of the year, we can probably start doing some more extra sales of boards again. I mean, we'll still have that 1 truck going back and forth constantly. But beyond that, probably not too much. We've still got plenty of crops waiting here at the grain storage. So the permanent export route over here is, well, it's still 60 rubles per wagon load. So not too bad. And are we... Yeah, we are getting some gravel finally in here. How's the other... Oh, right, that's going to take a while still. We have started working on the construction office over here, although we're going to need a lot of workers in here. We've got 24 workers underway, though. Of course, this crane can't actually help more than 3 workers at a time, so... Not exactly ideal in terms of using stuff, but it is what we'll have right now, so I guess that'll have to do. And that's 12 workers coming in already. How long have they been waiting on the truck, by chance? Ooh, about 2/3 of the time that they can. And they are at least using the road there, so they're not using this road at least yet. I suppose they can't use it because the road hasn't been built yet. Well, that would do it. That would do it. But I'm kind of hoping that we can get the basics to get then the population moving in today. I'm not entirely sure that we will, because we've already spent, well, a bit more than half a year of today's session, or the time that we'll be spending today in just getting a few more roads built, and some of the groundworks, I suppose, done. Well, most of the construction office. So it might not be that excellent yet, but I suspect that what we can do is I'm actually going to take one of the... Was it this one? Yeah, this one. Move it over there. And then I suppose what I can do... Oh. What I'm going to do... First of all, you'll stop auto-searching buildings to work on. So that way, once they go through some of this stuff, they won't be going for any more. So we can then move the digging crews in here, one by one, and then, you know, go from there. We managed to cancel a bit more of the construction sites as well, but as long as we get a few more places done, I guess we'll at least get forward with that. So is that for power? I guess it's... yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, our town right now doesn't actually have that much housing placed yet. I suppose what we could do is we could start planning out some of the housing locations. There's no footpath going through here. I suppose we could go around that area. For what I have in mind in here. So let's go ahead and get some housing. So we got some of the orchard barracks already. Those are quite tiny. They don't have that great of a quality of flats, to be fair. So it's pretty bad. There's the stable hands lodging. It's 79%. That's not too shabby, considering the building materials. There's the Tudor residence. That's very small ones. This could be like provide workers to one building, and that's about it. Ah, right, these are the ones that don't have a hitbox. So we place these on top of it here, for example. It probably wouldn't work, but it could be done. But I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get something maybe... Like, these are quite tiny. I mean, these are the smaller residents anyway. But I think we'll go with some of the medium ones. We already got one of the party members housing already. That's got a fairly good quality of flats, actually, 88%. But those are going to be reserved mostly just for the experts. And we're probably going to be having a lot more sort of... stricter rules on which houses can actually get the higher education and which aren't just going to be your regular workers. There's the Frontier Hall. I don't... It's called... Passenger... No, actually, all of these have passenger capacity listed as there. Okay. So we could get this one. That's 50 workers each. These are fairly small. They also do not apparently have a hitbox at all. So what we'll do is we'll place one there. These are, while they don't have very high or like very expensive materials, they do require a lot of materials. So we'll go ahead and place a few in here. Just a small rows of these houses in there. We will probably need to put in a trash collection point here somewhere. So let's go ahead and figure out a location for that. Probably be one of these. Oh, actually, have an idea. We'll go ahead and copy that. Actually, no, we'll... Oh, yeah, we're going to get a slightly bigger houses in here. There's the tutor worker housing. These are slightly bigger. They have a bit more housing space as well. Get that one there. Actually, no, we're going to rotate that. Let's give it another go. Something like this. Actually, we'll mirror that one. There we are, so we can get some of that. Let's go ahead and plan out some of the footpaths in here. Now, I'm pretty sure that we can connect to the... Oh, there we go. We can connect to that one. Should be able to connect in here. And we'll go ahead and get a... I guess we could connect to that one. Over here. This one's... Oh, that's going to have... We stop building that one, so technically speaking, yeah, we can just cut that into... we are going to have another footpath through here somewhere. Do a small curve there. And get these connected in here. We're not actually going to start working on all of this yet. I just wanted to have the options laid out. Now, can we actually... Oh, come on. I don't think we can connect to that middle bit there. Oh well. I suppose having that connection and then having one on the opposite side, that'll probably still be fine. Right? So this is going to be, let's see, that's 160 plus another 150, 310 workers in here. That's pretty decent amount, I would say. I suppose what I could do instead then is put in a... Can we squeeze in a children's playground actually in these gaps? Not quite. Because we could maybe remove one of these footpaths. Maybe. Not entirely sure actually about that, but... or alternatively... I mean, on this side it could also work. Or maybe the connection over here can be removed. Let's give that a go. Not the connection that I was looking for, I'll be honest, but technically speaking it could work. On the other, actually, I could just place it there. You know what? Yeah, I think that's going to be the better option. We'll remove that. Did that connect to... No, that's still false. Good. Right, so if we were to put in the... Oh no, don't tell me that you can't fit there. Oh no, you can. Kind of. Just very tight gap there. So I think what we might want to do is we might want to redraw some of these. In fact, we might redraw this entire place a little bit. I'm going to remove these, just to make sure that there's enough room. We can rebuild those quickly enough. We might also remove this one. So I want the children's playground to be right about there. And then what we'll do is we'll put in the housing that we had in here. Actually, I suppose what I could do is I could have this housing be a bit sideways. Actually, do I want to... Oh no, I do need to have a connection in. I think we are actually going to have to rotate this around, or back around this way. It is going to be a little bit further away from the main town, though. So that more or less faces in there, and then let's go ahead and put in the trash collection point again. So yeah, we'll go with one of these. Do I want to have in there? Or maybe I should just, since we know that we can't really access these things in here, or we can't really have, or we don't really have the room to put anything in between there, we could just have that there. And then if we connect these in, I guess we could have the connection there. I don't suppose... Let me just double check. No, you still don't want to connect to this. There's just not enough room to put in another node. Okay, well in that case we don't really have access to this point then. With our helicopters. And helicopters aren't really going to be a thing for another 50 years for us. So in other words, not really an option. Well, I suppose we can then go ahead and... No. Get the connection from here once more. Get a connection from here. Oh, that divided the thing. Okay, so we can suspend that construction for a little while. Got that. We do not have a monument in here yet either. That's something that we could probably place down fairly quickly. I'm going to leave that open for some trees. To at least break the stuff a little bit. Go ahead and get a footpath connection through here. And then I guess we could connect this one a little bit further. Get a footpath connection there. Connect to that one. And then we might put in... Actually, we could probably just squeeze in another house here. Maybe. Too close to existing buildings. It's a little bit awkward to... Actually, that'll probably do. That can link there. We're going to have that one connection. And I guess we could connect here somewhere. So that's going to be, let's see, 240 plus 150, so... 390 workers living over there. That's going to be a pretty decent worker base. Right, how we're looking on the progress now. So the... Ah, there we go. We're getting... well, we actually need a bit more wood in here to complete the construction office. But then we're going to help a lot with the crowd works, whilst the digging crews are still very busy. And that's kind of the downside of all of this. Well, I guess there is probably some board heading in that way. And, yeah, no, we've got one open hole over here. That should be fine. So there's probably at least one truck heading in already. Have we done the works on these roads? We've got all the gravel, well, it's all the gravel there. We haven't done these yet either. But maybe somewhere down the line. And then, oh, right, so that's... Well, I suppose since, yeah, there's not been any digging crews available doing anything else. We've got all the gravel, at least, I believe, for both of these power lines now. That one's the one that we haven't started yet. Let's go ahead and select the correct one in here. So yeah, that one's got all the gravel, so we don't need gravel for either one of those. How are we looking on profit this year now? Still a deficit of 1,800. To be fair, we've spent over 2,000 rubles for vehicles. So without that, we would have made a small, admittedly very, very small profit, but a profit nonetheless. Of course, eventually we'll need to do some maintenance work, and that's going to cost a decent bit on the buildings, that is. The vehicles aren't going to be that expensive, admittedly. How are we going? Okay, we've got plenty of boards. And I suspect that yeah, there's a decent bit of wood. We're still, of course, selling some boards. And now it's raining, so all of these are just crawling along. Of course, since they can't go too fast on the... well, they can't go any faster on the gravel road when it's not raining. They tend to choose the slower road. I suppose it is, technically speaking, slightly shorter route for them, probably, or at least easier to drive in. Because they need to turn around this way, because we set the roundabout that way. So it does mean that they just, you know... It's easier to turn through here rather than turn through here. I suppose if we were to put in another road connection in here, then it might mean that that is slightly more likely. The question is that going to be... that going to be enough? It's going to be too short for a mechanism, but if we do build it, we can then combine these two... Actually, I suspect that we can already do that. Right now it's a bit of a mess. But eventually it will be slightly better. But the idea is that we'll then have this working as intended. Oh, wait. Oh, I think what we need to do is we need to add in this thing as well. Oh, well, I don't think that's going to help necessarily. Because there's still... Yeah, okay, so it doesn't really help that much yet. Well, actually, no, if we put that in... Oh, so it does help. Kind of. It reduces at least the connection points by a small bit. Not necessarily the most effective connection quite yet. So we've got a vehicle heading in here. Is that that's a dumper heading in there, so that's going to be at least some gravel heading there. So we've got a bit more housing set up in there. We'll probably set up another housing area over here. Which is going to be next or close to the kindergarten over there at least. Then we might put in a few more houses in here to help with some of the buildings. We might actually put in a few more of the party member houses just to have like more locations where we'll know that we'll have some experts then later on. But not really too many. I suppose one of the places that we might want that is somewhere near the courthouse. Let's go ahead and figure out one of the locations for that. Is that so? We want to have the V2, which unfortunately does not have a hitbox. But it does mean that we can well, technically speaking, I suppose we could put in the version 1. It does still have a footpath connection, but it does have a road connection as well, which we, of course, don't really want to utilize. So we'll go with the V2. Actually, does this one... No, it doesn't have a hitbox either. A little bit cheesy. Hello, Gravity. How did I start in year 1900? So there is, on the workshop... I think there's a guide or something, I don't remember exactly, but there is a way to edit the save file, just to edit the year. So you start a game, then you run it through the save editor, and then you can change the year, you can change your starting money or the save settings and whatnot, and like which month it is, and there's about like half a dozen options that you can change their total. And then you just, you know, save, and then you load up the save, and presto, you're at 1900, or whichever year you put it into. If you want to start a year 3000, I believe that is possible. But there might not be a good selection of vehicles. That's another thing, like, if you do start at year 1900, then you'll need to download a lot of mods to cover the vehicles that you'll need. Ah, there we go. There's the construction office. So this one's going to be... Well, I guess right now, I don't think we have any of the digging crews available there yet, no. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and buy a new digging crew. That's another one of the mods that we have. I'm going to have this one. Load up the vehicle. Deliver over there. I guess I don't think we have a depot in here to... Well, I guess we can drive all the way back here for now. The digging crew, of course, itself cannot move, but it can do a little bit of digging for basically free. Carmen Diaz, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. But yeah, it's the save editing is actually fairly easy, but it's I don't have the link at hand right now. I really should do that. That should be fair. Because it tends to be a relatively frequent question. So, but yeah, it's on the Steam Workshop, there is a guide or something for how to start, or early start guide or something like that. And it gives you a link to GitHub, which then has a program that you download. It's a fairly like a simple program, and the small size and all that, so you don't need to spend hours and hours of downloading anything. And then, you know, you can run it immediately. You don't need to like install it separately. It runs as is. Then you need to select the save folder and the file in there, so it only shows the binary files that you or have the data that needs to be edited. It's like header.bin or something like that. And then you just open it with the editor, and then it opens up the settings to change and the year and all that. It tells you which year it is currently, for example, and then you can enter in the new year that you want to start in. If you want to change the month, and then there's the starting money. And yeah, then there's the regular game settings that you select at the game start. But that's about it. Once you edit it, you just save it into the file, and then you can boot your game and get playing. There's also a lot of relatively good mod collections in the workshop for like early start vehicles and some buildings as well, and all that. So those are definitely something you want to look at if you want to start at earlier start. Of course, you can use the save editor just to, for example, if you don't want to progress in time too much, so you can just basically keep switching the year back on the save, like every 10 years or so, go 10 years back or something like that, so you don't progress too far ahead until you feel like you're ready. Ah, right, so we're getting some of the stuff for the... Oh, this footpath is getting some gravel, finally. Well, there we go. Right, so is the digging crew already in here? Not yet, but I believe it's being delivered now. Yes. And actually what I can do, well, as soon as it's delivered over there, we can actually just tell it to go into the depot there. And then that we can use this one to then start working on a lot of these roads. And it's going to be a lot shorter distance to move, although we do not have our fuel in here, which is a problem. So the refueling is going to be a little bit painful experience until we get this place built. A horse feeding station. There we go. So now it's going back in here, and it's probably going to be delivering the digging crew already pretty soon. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's going for... Oh. It's going for the transformer over here. Okay, that's actually good. We do need that one to get some power in here. We got the asphalt already in there. We need a bit more gravel, but we should be fine soon enough. There's something to keep in mind on early starts is a lot of the vehicles, they are slow and not necessarily very high in capacity, so you need to take that into account with your strategies. Like some of the stuff that you might normally do will not really work in the beginning. Not impossible to get it to work, but it's just, you know, you need to take into account that, like, getting your first town up in, like, the first, I don't know, a year or two is probably not going to work. Like, even if you try to do everything as quickly as possible, it's just the reduced capacity and speed is going to still slow down things quite significantly. So we've done the... Ah, right, we started digging on the third power line over here already. There we go. So that's going to be the one that we are going to be utilizing initially in here. And we've done the digging for the power line over here. We haven't actually built any of that yet. Although I suppose we do have the workers over here, or the buses already available, and the cranes. So we could do a bit more work, but I'm actually... Oh, actually, what we are going to do is we're going to build up that bit of road in here, because we can't use mechanisms for that anyway, so we need to bring in some workers. And I suppose 2 busloads of workers with 12 workers each bus, it should be enough. And that's then going to allow us to maybe utilize this bit of road slightly more effectively for entering the station. I suppose, technically speaking, we might eventually set up a connection over here as well for exiting the roundabout, because there's going to be probably fairly high traffic through here, which means that we might need to then combine 5 spots into one intersection in here. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. What is that one doing then? It's bringing a bit of gravel for another unfinished footpath. Speaking of which, where are we getting... I suppose we've done that one. What is the next thing that the construction office down here is going to be working on? Good question. There's one of the cruisers on the wire. I suppose we're going to have a look. So this one's currently at the wire, is it? Yeah, that's working on the wire. And then this one is currently moving in. Actually, where are you moving into? Oh, it's another road. Which road is that? Can we see through here? Oh, it's over there. Okay. That's going to be the... Oh, right, the vineyard. We don't want to build that yet. That's another part of a mod. Or another mod that we have. Adding in different buildings. Like, they're fairly cheap to build. And they don't take any inputs, but they require the temperature to be fairly high, which does help that we're playing in the jungle map. So we basically can do farming all year round, which same goes for the orchards and the vineyards and grape vineyards, which is also a food, and then there are a few other things that we have which would require otherwise higher temperatures. So they can be pretty effective in this playthrough, I reckon. But of course, yeah, the actual production that they do isn't that high. They take quite a bit of workforce to run. And the production per worker, for example, in the orchard, let's have a look at that real quick. So it takes 20 workers per workday to produce half a ton of food. And it requires the temperature to be at least 18, which in this map is not going to be a problem, let's be honest. But that's, again, it's not going to be huge production of food. But if it has a steady flow of workforce in there, then it can produce, supplement the food production at least a decent bit. So that you don't necessarily need to have a food factory as such in the beginning. Also, we got the windmill, or the flour mill over here, which does have a slightly better production. It's a bit like a very small food factory, in the sense that it has a bit of, well, the recipe is a bit simpler, but it uses 50% more crops and the reducing the, we don't need any water or, well, basically, I don't think we need a lot of power in here either, to be fair. But yeah, it doesn't pollute anything. So it's just, it's a nice for a small town, for example. Just bring in some crops so you can get some food out of it. And that way you can feed your population, at least to some degree. But the throughput on that is not going to be huge. So it's not going to be enough for, probably a town that is even 1,000 workers. At that point, it's probably not going to be sufficient. Unless you can keep it running full speed at all times. Because I suppose I can... It's 1 ton per work day, so technically speaking 3 tons per day if you have it running full speed, which it's probably not going to be quite that. So let's say about 2.5 tons per day, or 365 days. I mean, it's going to be a decent bit of food actually produced on a yearly basis, if you can provide all the crops for it, which is going to be the bigger problem. And it's not very expensive to build, but again, the capacity is still... actually, how much can the food factory again produce? That's 20 tons of food per workday, so that's up to 60 tons of food per day if it's working on full speed. So it is still quite a wide difference in there. Well, it's about a 20-fold difference. Plus, it will require more crops to run it through the flour mill anyway. Right, so there's a fair bit of traffic through there. We did get the open haul truck over here to deliver some stuff. Of course, it's probably not going to be quite sufficient. But we got the... Oh, we still need the gravel in here. Okay. Well, hopefully that will get delivered at some point. Is that one... Right, so that's a bit of... Oh, that is actually the gravel coming for the transformer. Well, there we go. We can then complete the groundworks there, and then we'll just need to go and pick that up and deliver it to somewhere else. Where's the... Alright, so this is digging the power line, is it? That seems about right. Yeah, it is this one. So that one's heading for the substation over here, which we haven't gotten around to build yet, but we'll get there eventually. Oh, we could actually build this one. We don't need this one quite yet. Well, I suppose it's not going to be that bad, so we can probably build that. And then that one's going to be built. These are going to be built, I'm pretty sure, but it's going to take a little while. Right, so that one's going to be going to pick up the stuff. Did we get the... Ah, we did get the road built in here. There we go. And now that's all combined into one area, so that should be relatively okay. Although that is a bit further away in here than I expected the yield sign to be. I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting it to be right here, admittedly. But I guess it works, kind of. But that should also be slightly... Well, actually, I don't know if it's going to be that much better. This one's still going to go all the way around the roundabout. Technically, if we had to build these single lane roads in here, that might have been slightly better. But those will require more stuff, and it's not really something we want to build. It would be kind of a waste of the potential on the road speeds there, because these horses, or the 2 horse carriages that we have in here, or wagons, they can go up to 18 kilometers per hour. So even the gravel roads are a lot of wasted potential. But at least, you know, the weather doesn't slow them down in those as much. There's another road that we're building. Which road is it? Ah, that one. Going for the storage. Right, the storage we don't necessarily need to build yet, so I'm going to suspend that construction. But we are going to have the produce exchange hopefully built. That's going to require a lot of gravel, mind you. So that's going to take a while, but I guess we got this one. The fire station does need to be built. We're still trying to dig through the power cable through there. And did we get the... Alright, so we haven't gotten either one of those here. We are building the road in here. So that actually covers all 3 of the digging crews that we have. One on the road there, then one on the power line, and then one over there. The road heading to the vineyard. So there we go. I think we're actually losing a bit of money, aren't we? Oh, yes, we are. Well, we do have over 800,000. Now, to be fair, we did start with only 1 million rubles, so, and $500,000. But we're slowly, well, we're slowly using it, but I'm sure that once we get through most of this, it's not going to be too bad. I don't think this area is going to be particularly profitable, though. I suppose the farm is going to be okay. The wood production over here is probably not going to be all that much. Eventually, we'll, of course, have the iron mine in here, which actually, how much would the iron ore be worth right now? Iron ore is 9.5 rubles, and iron itself would be 22.5. So that is slowly becoming more and more profitable. Now, to be fair, we are still not even close enough to do that. And we've got another 70 work days down over there, so it's very, very slowly being worked on. Of course, we're using foreign workforce for that, which is probably not going to be the best money-saving operation there, but I guess we need to go somewhere. Still got this one. I suppose what we could do... Do we have another open hole over here? We do. I'm going to move that one in there. Unless this one's going to get picked up now, which... I mean, there's always a chance that it will be. But the truck's not there yet. Move that out of the way. I suppose we may need to get another open hole in here at some point. To speak, we might send the dumper back in. Because there's a lot of gravel that we need in places, so it's going to be okay, I guess. And is that one? That one's, yeah, they're selling a bit of crops. Oh, it's 64 rubles now per truckload. Okay. This is actually a pretty decent improvement there. So how much is it? It's 20.5 rubles now. Okay. And the board are at 13.4. Okay, I mean, that's still a decent improvement in there. Or it's slowly recovering at least the price. Of course, it's already October. So it kind of makes sense that it's taking a while. So these two haven't done much yet. Is that open holes one? It's heading back to the construction office. And it's loading. Okay, so it's... Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. Oh, so it's it went to pick up right, it was the wire over there, and now it's delivering it to some other road. First I need to go refuel those. That's going to be time-consuming effort. I guess what we can do is we'll go over there, we'll load up a vehicle, and then we'll go and deliver it over there, and then get back to here. That way we can reduce the travel time for the digging crews in here. And like this one's fairly close, so I can do that quite a bit easier. And then we can slowly reduce the amount of vehicles that we have in here. We could potentially even just send the crane right now. Just to go over there. That should be okay. Do we have... Right, that's technical service, that's the bus end station. We will need another road vehicle depot somewhere. So that's a construction office. That's going to be a technical service. So we've got two different technical services in here. So this one is going to be for waste, and the other one's going to be probably for the water and such. or water and sewage for the time being. Right, so that's getting a bit of stuff down there. And did we pick up the... Yeah, we have picked up the digging crew. And it's on here. Actually go and have the follow camera while we let things move. It does make quite a bit of dust over here. Plus, it does have some lights at the back of the wagon there because reasons. I'm not entirely happy with the road that we built in here. We could have made it a little bit more curved, because right now it's just, you know, it's a straight line, then it's a bit of a bend, and then another straight line. To be fair, it does allow them to go as fast as they can, but, you know, it's, well, most of the time... Oh, that's a bright light there. Right, so that's the crane that we sent in already, so that it took a bit of a head start compared to the digging crew. Unfortunately, those cranes that we have, they don't give a huge amount of help for the construction speed. It's only 3 workers each. Of course, later on we can get some better cranes, but right now our options are very, very limited. Right, well that's almost to his location. We still haven't also built up any of these roads. We have, yeah, we are going to build those. I guess that's going to be vehicle number 4 once we get the digging crew in here. Which, that's fine, and then we'll have 2 buses brought in here. I guess that's going to be more than enough. And there we are, so that's been delivered. That's probably going to be... Oh, and another road got built, so that's 2 of the digging crews are now available. I'm guessing one of them... Yeah, where is that one going to? It's one of the roads. Is that nearby? Oh, right, it's the road going to the fire station. That's actually not bad. Quite the opposite, actually. It's very good. Now, we've done the diggings for the power lines. Have we gotten the resource for those as well? Let's have a look. We have, so I guess what we could do is we could at least start working on some of those. For example, this, well, this is the one that we'll be sending in. So, we'll build that power line. I guess we could build both of those. Maybe even that one. And then maybe last we'll build the transformer. I'm pretty sure that we got most of the stuff for that. Yeah, we got everything in there. That's going to allow us to get power in, then spreading at least. Right now, of course, it's not spreading too much. I mean, it's coming up to here, but it's not going any further yet. But once we got that, it's going to be then delivering to the various locations. Right now, not necessarily quite enough, but we'll worry about that later. How's the... Yeah, we've got plenty of fuel there. How did we do in... Okay, so the imports have been killing us a little bit recently. Yeah, they have increased. There's a bit of steel that we have to import. What a bit of gravel. Some component... Ah, right, it's the electro components for the wires, isn't it? That's the big thing. Well, one of the bigger things, at least. Ah, right, and every digging crew is now busy. So there's one heading further in. That one's at least from here. Where's the last one? We've emptied or done those 2. I suppose since we don't have the truck in here, it's probably delivering it somewhere. It's the easiest way to find out is where... Oh, right, just delivered it. Where did you... Ah, right, it's the road going to the water filtration plant. Well, that's actually not too bad. I might make that a lower priority right now. We do want to have that, but we don't need it quite yet because we do not have the input of water coming in yet either. But we will be able to build that somewhere down the line. I guess what I could do is I'm going to go ahead and suspend that construction and start working on this bit of road. So we'll get a little bit closer and eventually we'll get all of that built. We'll probably build something else in here. I haven't quite decided what it's going to be. It could either be a harbor area for bringing stuff. I mean, we are going to have some harbor areas in here as well, probably. But, you know, we've got a lot of room for ships in here. So we will be utilizing. The problem is, of course, they are going to be rather expensive and all that. So it's going to take a while. Well, rather expensive is a relative term. It's just, it's going to be taking dollars right now. Well, the only options that we have for ships are with dollars. I think we need to wait until like 1940 before we have any of the ships that I have downloaded that will be for rubles. And at that point, we will probably have at least some ships already running about, I hope. Right, let's go in for more gravel. All of that is busy. These haven't been built yet. I believe we are... Right, we got through here at least. Oh, the road going to the fire station is still waiting for a tiny bit more gravel. We'll hopefully get that soon, though. Now, what are we working on over here? So we've got several locations. That one's got some... right, so... Oh, there we go. This was probably going to be built now. That's one of the wires. Can we actually see the progress on that wire itself being built? I'm guessing it's going to be the... Oh yeah, I think we can. Yeah. It's just going so quickly that it's hard to keep up. But yeah, so that's built now. We already started work on the transformer. That's going to take a little bit longer, mind you. Oh, we got a crane. Oh, we got double crane there. There we go. That makes a bit of a difference. So this bit of road, it is actually getting some gravel now, is it? Yeah. Alright then. So that's another step closer. Of course, we've got quite a bit of work to be done in here. We've got the digging crew available. What about the one over here? That's not quite available yet. It's 0.69 tons of gravel. Alright then. I'm pretty sure we'll get that soon enough. Oh, there's still these two footpaths as well that we haven't built yet. And also, that's the open hole? Right, actually, we can send that one back to the construction office. It might not be in huge demand right now, but we'll send it back. Regardless, we've got a waste wagon in here, which I haven't quite decided what to do with yet. I think we do not have a... No, we don't have a demolition office yet. That's something we will probably need soon enough, though. So actually, let's have a look at that. Construction industry, demolition. We could just have a free demolition office over here. At least for the time being. We can reconsider options later on. Although, actually, how much is the smaller one? It's going to be a lot larger. Pull that one there. We might also want to go and... Actually, I don't know how much of this road we need to build. I know that that one's something that we do need. But some of these things... we might not need for too long. And this one's is already mostly empty, actually. We have stopped it from searching more locations to work in, so, you know, at least eventually we'll run out of things. In theory. But it's down to one digging crew and the open hole, so once we... I don't know if we want to send it in here. I mean, we could. But we may need to eventually send these, or spread these out a little bit. But right now, I guess, it wouldn't really hurt. It'd be 2 digging crews, or 3 digging crews and 2 trucks and 1 crane. And that would allow us to remove one of these free construction offices in here. Then maybe build a proper construction office or something in this area. Like, not necessarily very large, but... Or we could save the spot for a distribution office actually later on. But of course, we won't have that unlocked for a while. Okay, so there's the demolition office. I guess what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and get the waste wagon in here. Did we? Right, we got plenty of stuff there. Oh, wait, no. This is a small container, never mind. Right. You need to have a large container over there for it to actually operate. Well, we can probably wait on that one then. Okay then. So that transform is almost done. It just needs a bit more workers there, which it's currently not getting, unfortunately. There's, of course, a couple more power lines that, well, this one's probably going to get built soon. It's got at least 1 truck heading in there. The other power line over here is actually also getting a crew in there. Alright then. We did complete the road over there, at least. And what about the roads through here? Oh, we did build a road. Which might mean, actually, that we can then utilize the shortcut in here. Is there any vehicles on this road yet? Not yet. But it could well be just a matter of time. At least once we start delivering stuff to the town itself. Or from the town. Mainly workers in that case. Right, that provided some concrete. And we have got on the gravel for the road over here. I don't suppose... Yeah, no, we've got the digging crew still quite busy. I've got also, I suppose the closest refueling station being over here is not ideal. We may need to put in... I think we've got another one set up in here. Yeah, we do. Then we might put another one on this side somewhere. And then maybe somewhere over here. Just to sort of spread them out a little bit so there's easy refueling at all locations, or, well, all directions, as I say. Because while the horses don't take a lot of, well, crops in this case, like the fuel capacity is very small, it does mean that it's cheap to refuel, but it also means that they are going to be refueling relatively often. They don't have a huge fuel consumption, mind you, but it's still something that they'll need to worry about every now and then. And that's a bit more gravel coming into one of these roads, I believe. I don't know which one. Okay, it's the one heading to the garbage stand. Which, to be fair, getting the garbage stand built would be quite nice. We still need another 3 truckloads of, or wagon loads of gravel in here to get the, or open the road in there. Also, oh, we got the concrete for the fire station. Right, we need a lot of gravel in here, but then we're going to do the groundworks for that. There's at least 1 wagon load of gravel already heading in here, I think. And then, yeah, so if we just do the digging in there, we can... Oh, we just completed something. We've got the other digging crew in here. Right when we picked up the other one. Alright, then, oh, actually, I'm not entirely sure if it picked up the second one instead then. Oh, is that the road? Oh, yeah, it is that one. There we go. And then we can start getting work done on the horse feeding station in here. Which, to be fair, it's going to take a little while. But once we get that one, we can then start refueling in here. And that's going to save us a lot of time and effort. And that shouldn't take too long to build either. So that's good. We haven't set up the connections across here yet. All these connecting pieces there yet. But we'll do that eventually. And actually, once we do get that, we can actually turn these already to the sort of highway designations in a way. Because we can put in the no motor vehicles along the roads here. Or at least on those lanes. Right, so the fire station is finally getting some of the gravel. It will require a total of 3 trips though. So it will take a decent bit of time. Right, and the factory connection over here is already getting some of the work done. That is going to take a little bit of time to get built. Right, so we've got the power lines heading to the town. We haven't gotten the power line that is heading to the construction material area over here built. But we can do that, I reckon. Another thing that I might want to do in here somewhere is getting another woodcutting post to get some stuff for bricks in particular. We don't really need the woodcutting for boards to construction material in here because we already got it in this area. Speaking of which, we might need to eventually plant some more trees. We've cut down a decent bit of areas in here, but there's a whole lot of wood just stored up in there. Right, and that's the wagons that we have in here, which we got a decent bit of wood waiting. So I guess we could go ahead and open up the wood export for a while again. I mean, how is the wood price or board price looking like? It's 12 rubles. It's not great. But I guess we could just take a little bit of money from there. We are still losing a small amount of cash every now and then. Oh, and the transformers still need a bit more work, because I guess if they're... Yeah, there's a wagon heading in here now. Which unfortunately isn't quite as close as I thought it would be. You know, it's just going past here. Oh, is it? Right, I don't think it's actually refueling in here, is it? Oh, it might actually have to. It's probably going to move through a little bit and then realize, oh, I need to go refuel. And it's either going to go for that one or turn back for that one. It's probably going to be that one, to be fair. It's not completely out of fuel yet. So yeah, it's probably going to be that. Before it reaches there, it's probably going to be out of fuel. Or going to be so low on fuel, at least, that it needs to refuel. So 0.1 liters. Less than that. Oh, no, it is actually going through. Never mind then. Maybe it's going to deliver the stuff and then go refuel. Which, in that case, that's fine. Otherwise, we might have an issue. Right, so we are starting the groundworks over here for the feeding station already, so that's good. How's the work on the iron mine coming along? Still got 2,500 work days. I mean, we're not really prioritizing that much, to be fair, so it makes sense that it's not coming along very quickly. So how much have we done exports this year? 18,500 rubles. It's currently December, so we'll probably hit close to 20,000. Might be slightly over, might be slightly under. But we are going to get to somewhere around there, I reckon. The total imports haven't been too bad, but the manpower cost is quite significant. So once we can start reducing the foreign manpower use a bit, which right now I suppose a lot of that is actually just used in here to keep, largely to keep the fire station operational, and then do a little bit of work on that one and a bit of work on these two and the veterinarian, but that's about it. Speaking of which, right, so we've got nothing to repair. How's the vehicle's wear and tear if we go for a little bit larger radius? There's some that are 45%. For example, this one. Oh, actually, before you go to the open storage, I want you to just go ahead and get to do some repairs. So I can then replace the, sort of switch around the next one, and I can get all the vehicles repaired before they start breaking down. Usually when they start to or reach somewhere around 60% is when they start breaking down relatively often. Especially the more it has, like, I think it's like past 50% or so, they start breaking it relatively regularly, and then once you get to 60, 70, 80, and all the way to 100%, they'll start breaking pretty much constantly. So you do want to stay on top of that repairs. Of course, you can automate it with just getting a vehicle in here, which we might do at some point in the not too distant future, although we... Alright, so we have cancelled the... or ticked off the allow repair cancel when long idle, so that we will actually complete the repairs, even if it takes time. Ah, there we go. So we did get the footpath over there built, at least. Almost getting a couple workers over there. And then we'll have the iron mine getting... oh, it's going to be getting 3 workers there right now. It's still going to require another 2,500 workers to complete the construction work, though. So, not anytime soon. Right, how we got on? Yeah, we started work on this bit of road here. Still needs a lot of gravel, admittedly. And we got... Oh, where do we have the digging crews now? Because the easiest way to check is... Actually, is it the easiest way? Because I can't really see the vehicles. Like, I know that they... Ah, there we go. Now we can see. So there's one being delivered. Not entirely sure where exactly it's going, but it's been delivered somewhere. There's the other one that is currently doing the groundworks for the fire station. And I suppose that's about it. So the other one being delivered over here. Is that for the footpath? No, it's for the plumbing, actually. Okay, if we do have a look at the plumbing, yeah, we need a lot of gravel there. But we do want to build that, that's for sure. And we've got... Oh, right, it starts from that side. Fair enough. But yeah, that's going to allow us to then get some... Oh, right, yeah. So we need to sort that out. So there's a small pump over here. It might actually require some power. Technically speaking, no, it shouldn't require power. At least it doesn't list power as a requirement or a thing in here. This one doesn't require power either. So that way we can at least get water relatively easily in here. It's not necessarily going to be the cleanest of water, but it should be like around probably 93 to 94%, somewhere around there, which does mean that we don't need that much work. And we've got the water filtration plant over here, which uses gravel to filtrate the water. It's actually... It's maybe a little bit cheaty compared to the regular water treatment plant because, you know, it doesn't require chemicals. Chemicals are relatively expensive, whereas gravel is quite cheap, and it produces roughly the same amount. Actually, let's have a look. So we got the... I think it's this one. The 60 cubic meters water that I can treat per workday. And then the small one... Okay, it's half the amount that I can produce... Where? Twice the workers. So it's actually not that bad. It also has, technically speaking, twice the input in terms of gravel compared to the chemicals. But then there is some others that are more comparable. There's a tiny filtration plant as well that you could have for like a very tiny town. This probably wouldn't be enough for a very large population, but if you have like a very small town with like a couple houses, maybe a shop, and a few other things maybe, then that might actually be enough to keep it running. But yeah, so okay, it's not as bad as I remembered, but it is still a little bit overpowered perhaps in terms of the running cost. But you know, we started early game, so or like if we have really early start, so I kind of want to go with that for the time being. I'm just going to quickly check one thing. I do apologize. Alright then. Nothing too important, to be fair. Right, so we are still selling some of the crops. We could even sell a bit more of those. Right, so actually, what is the crop price currently? Is it, it's 20 point... almost 20.6. I think it may have gone... Actually, I suppose what we could do is we could have a look at the prices. This year, crops... It is actually still mostly been going upwards. I mean, it's dropped a tiny bit now, because we'd probably be selling a bit more of it. But yeah, no, that's... Overall, it's still being on the rise. So I suppose if we have a look at this year's total income, we are almost at 20,000 already from exports. Now, to be fair, we got a little bit of vehicles that we purchased. The foreign manpower is still costing us a lot of money, to be fair, but we are getting at least some extra in here. I suppose, actually, if we have a look at the productions and all that. So this year we produced... almost 900 tons of crops. We'll probably be getting to 900 by the end of the year. If we have a look at last year, we produced only 512. Of course, this year it's been basically pretty much non-stop production of crops like this. We got one harvester only, so it kind of times it rather nicely. So that once it's done with a previous field, it can go to the next one and the next one and so forth. So there's a constant rotation of the fields going. And then we've got, of course, the fertilizer. It means that the fields are ready faster to be growing. So that works quite nicely. So I guess we can say that we can probably get like around 900 tons of crops per year with just these fields, which isn't that bad, actually. And I suppose if we count with the 900 tons per year and takes, we can get about 20 rubles per ton. If we sell all of that, that would be, what, 18,000? Rubles, somewhere around there. Probably a bit more than that. But yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Oh, there's another 3 tons being sold. So that's, okay, that's not quite a full truckload. But as that is still going to be 62 rubles per the truckload. So that's pretty good. Did we get the groundwork started in here yet? Ah, we did. We did a bit more gravel to be brought in here, though. But I'm guessing that is... Yeah, there's 2 trucks heading in there, so that will be done. We have done at least some of the footpaths in here. That one's getting some gravel, and that one's going to pick up the... Ah, right, we've done the groundworks at the fire station. Alright, now we just need to get a whole lot of brick, spores, and steel in here. But then we can build that one, which is going to be very important. Now, another good thing about the jungle map, of course, is in addition to the all-year-round farming, you don't need to worry about heating even if you had the seasons on. Which, you know, it's a bit of easy mode at that point, in a sense. But, now with the Biomes DLC, there are basically 4 different tiers of difficulty that you can go for, depending on the biome you're playing. So I'd say the jungle biome that we're playing in right now is, or the Asia map, if you're playing with the non-random maps, that is the easiest one. Then I'd say the default one is the second easiest. Then the third one is the Middle East or desert map. And then the last one is the Siberia, or the like the Arctic or Tundra map. Because in that one, you have... I think the snow melts around... Is it May? Or something like that. Or at least like the temperatures drop enough that you don't need quite as much heating, like end of May or somewhere around there. Whereas normally it's like end of March maybe, or maybe early April in the default map. Then of course the snow starts to rain in or fall in like, I don't remember actually, or I'm not entirely sure. Pricewood would probably know a lot better, because he's playing his Gulag run in the Siberia map. And what he does is he can only sell goods that are produced entirely with prison labor, if it's possible to produce it with prison labor. So yeah, it's been an interesting experience for him for sure. Right, there's a bit more work to be done there. Did we get the... No, the pipe hasn't been worked or produced completely yet. We still have another 2.5 truckloads of gravel there. So I'm sure that some of that is getting delivered already. Did we get the vehicle... Well, I suppose we didn't even start the repairs yet. Let's get that started. We do have no... Oh. Yeah, we don't have any workers there yet. We do have at least something to repair. I'm guessing we need to wait for another busload of workers to pour in. How is the board price at this point? It's 12.4 rubles. I mean, it's not the worst. We might be crashing that price again. But I suppose if we keep that price relatively low, it might then reduce the... Actually, I'm not entirely sure it's going to reduce the cost for the various vehicles. I honestly don't know. Maybe. But of course, we won't have the tech to build our own vehicles yet for a long, long while. So it's kind of pointless to worry about that one. Ah, there we go. So we're done the groundworks with the horse feeding station. Where we got the vehicles now? Ah, we started another pipe over there. Okay. So we got on the pipes. And then, yeah, no, that's about it. Then, of course, we got the 2 vehicles in here. Fair enough. We did get the power line built there, so that's good. We are not quite ready to start working on the fire station yet. We need a lot more resources there, so might as well wait on that one. We cannot build the feeding station, so... Oh, that digging crew was from the construction office over here, I reckon. Well, that's good to know. Actually, do we have... We do still have room there. I suppose we've got one of the dumpers that is still waiting. So what I'm kind of thinking here is that once this is done with all the works... Yeah, the horse feeding station was one of the things that it was set to do. Then it's going to be a whole lot of footpaths and some roads, but it's mostly done. Then we're going to deliver the digging crew probably down here. Because that's going to be where we need it the most. Although, technically speaking, having one over here wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing, quite frankly. Because there's still going to be some road construction over here as well. We could just reduce the search radius, actually. To be back to, like, a 1 kilometer. Or something like that. But right now, I guess it can still help with the already assigned locations there. Still waiting for that truck. Is it actually coming along here? Or is it taking the main road? It's probably on the main road still. There is... oh no, that's going for another of the fields, picking up some more crops there. That is covered wagon. Okay, that's going for... Oh, right, so we've got 3 covered wagons, don't we? Yes, then we've got the 2, essentially the tractors, and then we've got the 1 harvester. We do have a second harvester, but I realised that it's better to do it this way right now. Because the trucks are quite a small... in capacity and slow as well. So we have now gone through the... Oh, we got 21,000 rubles total exports. Still, total year's deficit, it was 4,000. Although, if we compare it to the previous year, it was 20,000. And if we go to the previous year, that is 74,000. And then... it gets a bit murky, to be fair. I guess, actually, can we... Oh, there we go. It's about, I don't know, 60,000. So I suppose the 1901 was the most expensive year for us thus far. But we are at least getting some progress in here. Oh, well, there we go. So there's the more crops being sold, and that is 64 rubles. So again, it's slowly getting better and better. Well, at least the price hasn't been dropping too quickly right now. So there's still quite a few... Oh, right, the storage... Right, we're not building that yet. We're going to worry about that later on. But we will need to get that at some point. But right now, I just want to get to the produce exchange, the bus platform, the clinic. Those 3 are going to be the very important things. Then some footpaths over here to get to the kindergarten. Some of the housing. Then probably the Communist Party headquarters. And then probably a few others. Again, I'm not entirely sure if we'll be able to build this thing here accordingly, so we might need to do a bit of finagling in here if need be. But we'll worry about that in a little while, or once we get to that point. Because right now it's it might still work, but it might also not work. So there's the problem. So how's the pipes coming along in here? That one's still waiting for... Actually, oh, we need steel, which it might be getting some... No, that's gravel being delivered somewhere. It could be one of these pipes. Oh, yeah. That one's still waiting for gravel. This one's waiting for gravel, but it's not heading for either one of these. As far as I can tell. It might be the pipe that we're still digging. Oh, yeah, it's that one. Well, that still needs another 17 tons to be fair, so yeah, that's going to take a while. But that's going to then allow us to get the water all the way to the switch at least. And then from there, we've got pipes going into 2 locations. One near the entrance to the town, and one near the eastern... Well, I suppose, yeah, one on the west, one on the east. We might also need to put in one down here somewhere, maybe. Which actually, we may have done a bit of a mistake attaching it there. Well, I suppose we haven't actually started building this pipe yet. So we could take it away, or I suppose we could also... Don't we have a connection in here that we can still utilize? Yeah, we've got another one over there, so we can just link that down this way if need be. So that is our wooden water tower over here. It can have up to 150 cubic meters of water, which, you know, it's going to be decent reserve. Actually, how does it compare to the small water tower? Oh, it's about double that one. Now, to be fair, in costs of comparison, it's less steel needed, no components, a lot of boards, some gravel and concrete. So, you know, the tonnage is larger, but of course the cost of that is probably not going to be any larger. Probably actually a little bit less. It does take a lot more work to build it. And does that, that one doesn't take any power, whereas this one does actually take some power. Interesting enough. Huh. Oh, but it's got station for vehicle loading and unloading, whereas the smaller water tower does not. Actually, none of these have. Oh. I'm not entirely sure if we can use that as a source building for water though. But if we can, that's actually going to be really nice because that means that we will then basically always have water available to pick up. Now, we won't be selling the water. I don't think we can actually sell the water anymore. If we have a look at the sale price in here, no, actually we could. But it's probably not going to be worthwhile. It's going to be a lot of distance to travel. But yeah, so on grander scale right now, our goals are to get the a town up and running and slowly growing. It's going to take a while before it's really going to do much. So I think like until the end of the decade, we'll probably be mostly working on getting the city up and running, getting the gravel works over here, and, you know, getting the asphalt production and concrete and gravel. Maybe we'll even set up the wood-based, or some wood cutting in here and put in the wood-based brick making. It's not necessarily going to be very effective, but it's probably going to be enough to then at least reduce the transport distance from the customs all the way to here for construction purposes. So that would be probably a decent idea. And then, technically, we could get the wood pitch or wood-based pitch production. Actually, that's in the fossil fuels, but a wood pitch extraction, right. So that would take a lot of wood. We'd probably need to have a dedicated wood-cutting boat just for that one. But that would allow us to get a bit of bitumen, which we could potentially sell. Although I don't know if that's going to be something that we want to sell, because it's kind of skipping some research there. Although I suppose it kind of makes sense. We can't get the fuel out of it, so it's, you know, well, I suppose it's not using oil anyway. Speaking of oil, actually, I know that we had some oil somewhere. I've forgotten where it was. I believe there was some underwater... Where was it? It wasn't here. Was it this lake? I know that there's some underwater. I'm pretty sure that there's some not underwater as well. Alright, we did have that area here. So this one was the location of a coal mine later on. But that's going to take a while. Can't see any... Well, we're not going to go search too far away for oil. Just get a bit of an idea. Oh, there's oil. Right, I know that we had found some earlier, but I just didn't remember where. Right, so we do have some oil eventually, but we're not going to get to work on that one until, like, we're probably not going to start producing any oil, let's just say, until, like, 1930s. To sort of pace ourselves a little bit, and, you know, it's a bit of longevity. If we go for all the wood, all the money-making stuff now, then, you know, it's just so we're going to be very frustrated with the slow vehicles until a long while anyway. So, you know, giving us some checkpoints to work towards, and then, you know, that way we can bring in some longevity for this. So there's another footpath being built. I'm guessing it's this one. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So that's going to be at least built soon enough. That's going to be then connecting in here. Did we... Right, we did make sure to not build the windmill monument in here yet. I just figured that it would be looking nice next to the orchard over here. And then we do have the other windmill over here, which is going to be producing some of the food for us. Now, we will need to be bringing in a fairly steady supply of crops in here, which, to be fair, we could use the storage in here to bring in food, maybe a tiny bit of clothing, Probably not too much, but a little bit clothing, food, and crops. And then, of course, it's probably going to be, once we get the population running in here, at least decent bit, it's most likely going to be food brought in from here. And then, of course, this produces crops or food directly into there. And then crops brought in here that the windmill can then use, or the flour mill can then use. And then, of course, that is going to be sold at the produce exchange over here. Now, this is another thing that takes 2,800 workdays. That is a lot. But I think with the style that we go for this town, it looks much better for us. Plus, it's, you know, it's only gravel and wood that we need in there. Now, we don't produce gravel yet, but the wood we do produce ourselves, and the gravel isn't too expensive, although 100 tons, it does still cost at least a little bit. We'll get that done sooner or later. Right, so we've got the... right, these are not working on anything. Is there anything that we could actually complete already? No, that one's still waiting for stuff. I'm going to only work with these on things that we can't build otherwise. Like that bit of footpath over there, maybe? Is that bit of road something that... Oh, that is another thing that we need to build. I guess we can get those two, at least. Then there's not too much over here that we need to worry about yet. How's the... No, the fire station still needs a lot of stuff. And then I'm guessing this one... Yeah, it needs a lot of things in there, actually. Well, I guess we can wait on that. That one's going to pick up the digging crews and one of the plumbing. I'm guessing it's this one? It's not that one, so it's the other one then. Yeah, there's a mechanism waiting there. So we'll be picking up that one there. Oh, right. The amount of steel that we need to import right now is probably going to be fairly high. But we did... Oh, wow. 1,600 ruble in January. Profit, that's pretty decent, I would say. So, well, last year we did do the 4,000 ruble deficit total. But this year, thus far, we're at 1,700 profit. So we might be turning around. I'm kind of hoping that we can keep the cash reserves, at least for the time being, above 800,000. Later on, we'll probably want to start using some of that to, you know, do a lot of the bigger construction works over here before we can start actually making some proper money. Another thing, of course, is building the harbour over here. That's going to be 122 tons of steel, almost 10 tons of components just for the harbour in here. And of course, there's going to be another few steps along the way, like the storage over there. And of course, all these conveyor belts, that's going to be a whole lot of money that we'll spend. So I'm hoping that we can kind of still stay above 500,000 by the time we get all of that built. And then that's going to allow us to then, you know, spend some money for vehicles and other things like that before we start having a actually healthy economy. Which right now, well, it's making a profit, but it's mostly because we don't have a lot of expenses here. There we go, there's a bit of gravel coming in here at least for the horse feeding station. We can at least get some work done on there. Did we get the... Right, we are getting some workers over here, aren't we? Yes. There's actually 12 of them heading in here. They're still a little bit far away, though, but I guess they're trying. Definitely trying. Oh, we did... No, we didn't actually complete this road yet. Still need another 2 truckloads of gravel, which is on the way. Oh, that reminds me, we did probably repair the dumper in here. Indeed, we did. Okay, I'm going to send that one in. Now let's have a look at the other dumpers. I believe we've got about 48%. Where are you? Well, you're actually over here. So as soon as you deliver that, I'm going to send you back to be repaired. So we can keep the vehicle, or we can stay on top of the vehicle repairs right now. Because honestly, that's going to be quite important. And that's going to be 3 tons over there, so we'll need another truckload for that one. Of course, we're not building all of these roads yet. It's just to get started on a lot of, or at least a few things. Send you directly in there. And we'll need to repair it, of course, but that's alright. We've got some firefighters in here. It's probably not enough at all times. But, oh, there's a bit of traffic jam over here. Again, hidden by the trees. One of the things that I might want to do at some point is actually... Well, I might not be able to do that easily. But, like, put in one of those gates or walls in here and just build a bit of a wall around here. And maybe hitting the border wall. So it would separate the forest at least a little bit from the road, although I suppose I could just not plant any trees there or just play on a more top-down perspective, but I think we lose a bit of the visuals if we go for that one. So I want to have like a bit of a bird's eye perspective, but not directly above. Right, so which one? Right, so did we get the footpath done in here? We did. So that should open up now another two that we can provide stuff to. Because we need to get the gravel in there first. Also, this... that requires a bit more workers in there. And it is getting another horse transport. It is already underway. Well, that's good. And, right, nothing... Oh, yeah, that... Oh, we did get the gravel in here. So that road will be completed soon enough. And what about over here? We haven't... Oh, we've done one footpath. I'm just going to make sure that we don't build any of the housing here yet. Or the tavern, for that matter. We do want to have the tavern eventually, although I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to try to go without the tavern for a while. Just to make sure that this, the population growth might be slightly faster without it. There's probably going to be slightly less crime. Also, the happiness is also going to be a bit lower, so we need to have some other options for them to get entertainment from. But we can maybe... I don't know. We could try to go for like the vineyard is going to be providing all the alcohol that we produce, so we're not buying anything. We're just producing ourselves in here, which is probably not going to be even nearly enough. So what we might need to do is, you know, open the tavern every now and then, like after a truckload has been brought in there or something, and then otherwise it's just going to be closed. We've still got a little bit areas in here to build some more housing. We might also put in another one of the party members' housing in here for some more experts. There's also a bit more room over there. We might also need to get a second clinic somewhere. Could maybe be next to the orphanage in here. So we'd have one on either side of the town. Both still fairly close to the central of the town, admittedly, but we don't need it yet, admittedly. But it's just something we want to probably plan around. If we do have a look at the it's kindergartens, let's see. Police stations, hospitals, there we go. So the small village clinic. How much is it again? So it can take the max amount of patients 100. That doesn't actually hold true, to be fair, but they can have quite a bit in there actually that they'll treat slowly. It can only have 7 workers, only 1 vehicle as well. But, you know, it's mostly fine. But yeah, if we were to place one in here, actually I'm gonna rotate that around. Oh wait, it only has the road. Well, I suppose if we leave enough room for the factory or the footpath connection, this will still work. But we can go ahead and just get a road connection there. We'll have a little bit of connection heading down that way. We'll go ahead and get the footpath connections in here. Oh no, don't tell me that you don't want to get the footpath through here. You want to connect to that one, but that's about it. Okay, so we will need to get rid of that road first. Then I think we can get the footpath in here. Then can we get the road connection back from there? I guess that's a no. Well, I guess what we can then do is just not have the footpath connect directly into the building, and then just connect to the road heading out of the clinic. So something like that, and the footpath connection from here to there. Yeah, still can't connect to anything there. That's a bit annoying. But of course we'll then have this one connect somewhere deeper in there, but we're not going to build that yet. Same goes for the orphanage. We do have the very small jail in here. I believe it can have up to like 20... Actually, let me double check. How much can we have in that... I believe it's this one, so 25 prisoners. Not a lot. There is a larger variant that can have up to 40. Which, you know what, actually, let me just double check. Is that... No, I think they've got the same exact footprint. I believe it's this smaller one. Let me just double check the bigger one. I don't actually know. Like, size-wise, it tends to, or seems to be hitting with that. Oh, so it is the bigger one. Yeah, it is a larger tutor. No, never mind then. I can read. Well, there we go. So that's going to be a decent bit of extra... well, it's up to 40 prisoners. I don't think it's going to be necessarily enough. But, of course, those are going to be mostly working the cattle field. And maybe a little bit on the orchard. So they can help produce the food for the town. But, unfortunately, we need to wait until, like... Actually, let me double check. List of vehicles available by year. Prison bus. So the first one's... Right, so if we had a connection to the east or the NATO side, we could get one at 1908. One of the 4T policemen, but that's not quite what we can get. There is one at 1932, and then this one at 1917. This is the first one that we can buy with rubles. So yeah, it's got a decent speed though. It's like 50 kilometers per hour. Compared to the horses, it's going to be amazing speed. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while before we get to that point, and we will need the prison before that already. So the first, at least probably a decade, more or less, of the prisoners, they will not really be able to help with the town itself. But later on, they'll be able to contribute at least some of production in there. Mostly for the food, mind you. Well, food and a bit of cattle. Which, to be fair, the cattle production thing that we have in here, it's the, what of these? So, each worker can produce 0.001. No, it's 0.01 tons of livestock per workday. It's not really that much. It's going to be like a bit of supplementing for the meat production, but I don't think we'll be able to be meat independent with those. We could potentially set up some bigger farmland somewhere, or like cattle ranches somewhere. I wonder actually, how about that's a bit of a steep area there. Maybe something over here could work. Just about, but again, like the sizes that they take of these cattle fields. So these don't take any input, is the good thing. But they take a lot of room, and they don't produce a lot. But I suppose the medium cattle field, I mean, we could probably fit one in here somewhere. Technically speaking, there is also the variant 2, which can be placed anywhere. It doesn't, I don't think it actually covers anything. So you can basically just, technically speaking, you can even place it within your town, and they can produce whatever it needs to be. But that feels rather cheaty, so we're not going to do that one. But we will be using the medium, or maybe the medium cattle field here somewhere. I don't suppose, no, that hillside is a bit too steep. And over here there's the footpath and everything else getting in the way. Over here there might be room, but it's a bit further away from the town itself. Which, well, we could get a footpath across the highway in here at some point. Like through there, for example. So it wouldn't be impossible to have it in here. But even this one with 10 workers, it's producing, well, it's actually still 0.01 tons of livestock per worker per workday. So it's not really that much. And the large one, let's actually have a look at the... Oh, there's a V2. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh, there's just the big one. Is the large and the big one the same thing? Yeah, they are. Okay. So this one's a relatively sizable. We can't really fit that in this map probably in most places because the terrains are just not going to be flat enough. There's always going to be at least some... I mean, we can of course do the terraforming for it, but yeah, no, it's going to be a little bit tricky. But yeah, so that would be how many workers? 40 workers. So with the same productivity. But you know, it would at least give you some cattle. But again, you know, with the fact that you don't pay any upkeep. Oh, well, I mean, you do keep the upkeep. You need to rebuild it every now and then, but it's very cheap building. And, you know, running costs are basically nothing more than the workers in there. So it's somewhat easy. But, you know, it's just basically a large meadow that you have your cattle in. Although, technically speaking, it just looks like an empty field. There's no animation for cattle to be in there or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. But it's still something. Right, we've got quite a bit of wood in here still, oddly enough. Also, are we not getting enough workers for that? No, we've got some workers at the sawmill, but I guess we're selling a lot of it. Have we got on... Oh, February was a bit of deficit. 1700 deficit, so actually this year total is now minus 153 rubles. Not exactly ideal, but how are we looking on the crops situation here? Still got about 400, so we could potentially just put another truck over here to export some more crops. And I'm sure that that one would pay itself back in due time. How many things are we still working in here? There's a few more things. Oh, the horse feeding station, we've done that already. There's a few more other footpaths and such that we might be working on. We're not seeking any other locations to build in for that kind of house. So where are you right now? You are going through here. And the footpath number 72... Well, it says 72, but it's not really set. Ah, so it's this one. Oh, we don't have the gravel there yet. Okay. Well, I guess that's another location that we don't need to worry about. And the stand for big garbage containers. It is, well, we are starting the groundworks there. It's still looking at a lot of resources, mind you. Oh, is that one? Wait a minute. Oh, that's a concrete, right. I thought that was bringing workers, and there was like, hold on a minute, I haven't ordered anything in here yet. Right, well, let's go ahead and check on the fire station. That still needs a whole lot of bricks and boards, which is not actually getting any right now. It's a bit of a shame. We've got on some of the footpaths in here at least. That's quite nice. That one's also going to get some more work there, I reckon. Did we get... Right, so we dug in some of these pipes. Of course, we are going to be needing a decent bit of steel. That's probably a decent chunk of the expenditures that we have right now. I guess since we've got the road over there, we could probably just go ahead and start building this one. And keep it a low priority for now, because we don't actually need to get through there right now. But if there's nothing else to do, then they can definitely help with that. Although I suspect the dumpers are going to be so big. Oh, right, actually, that reminds me. We have the dumper over here, which has not started repairs yet. So we can do that now. So that's going to allow us to then send it back in here, and then maybe replace another dumper if need be. Let's actually have a look. Wear and tear. So there's that dumper, and then the next one is actually an open hole at 40%. That's working for the woodcutting post. Okay. So that's another thing that we can then maybe switch around, which is fine. We've got plenty of wood. I guess we just don't have enough workers at the sawmill. I'm going to increase the max workers over to 3 again. Maybe we can get through some of that. Oh, and we've probably been selling so much of the board. I suppose that might be the second half of the conundrum there. So we're going to stop that for a little while because the board price is down to 11.6 again. So that has been dropping steadily. I still need some asphalt. Well, actually, we need all sorts of stuff for the groundworks there. For the garbage collection point. And the fire station still needs a whole lot of bricks and a bit of boards as well. So we're not going to start working on that one quite yet. We have not started getting the stuff for these footpaths either. I'm sure that we will eventually, but not yet. I suppose this... if we have a look at the dumper construction office over here, it's got a bit of a list of construction work to do. I'm hoping that it's at least trying to do it in a reasonable manner. Which road is the one over here? Ah, right, that's heading towards the bus station. Right, but we just need to get some gravel in there. We do have a vehicle heading in there, though. Well, not yet heading in there, but we will be heading. Actually, how are we looking on gravel? I know that we've been using a lot of it, but we also... yeah, no, we're staying on top of the demand there. So that's good. There's probably quite a bit of traffic in and out there, mind you, but it could be worse. In the mine, we're now at 455 workers. Again, we're just getting like 1 to 3 workers over here per busload of workers coming in here, so not really that much. Did we do the repairs? We did. So let's go ahead and send the dumper down that way. And now if we have a look at the vehicles. Wear and tear. So the lightest one is 41%. We can probably wait with that one for a little while. Good afternoon, Pierre. How's it going? Ah, there's another 3 tons of crops coming in for the grain storage. Well, technically speaking of the farm. But it will largely end up in the grain storage. And there we go. That's another... ooh, it's 66 rubles now per truckload of crops. So the price is slowly growing. It is admittedly very, very slow. But it is growing. So that's good. How's the... ah, right. So we haven't got on the stuff for the horse feeding station yet either here. So we don't really have a fuel station in here nearby. Other than that one. That's the closest one. And that's also a little bit far away. Well, I guess we'll just have to live with that. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, that's never nice. Last time I went to a dentist, they had to remove a tooth. Other than that is alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that at least. Alright, and there's a little bit of footpaths hopefully being built in here. Actually, let me have a look. If we select this one, there's a decent bit of size that we're working in here, although there could be a lot more. Well, actually not that much more. There could be a bit more. But of course we've stopped some of the construction works in here, or from being started at all. So that at least helps. Right, is that one... No, it's not getting any gravel yet. Of course, it's low priority, so they won't really be getting anything for a while. There's more concrete coming for the garbage stand, which still needs another wagon load after that. We need 2 more trips with gravel and 2 more trips with asphalt. And after that, we'll need a tiny bit of steel and prefab panels, but that's not going to be too difficult. Although I say that, but we don't actually have that many vehicles doing the open hull stuff here right now. Oh, and that's bringing in some more fertilizer. How much? I think, yeah, we've got plenty in there still. Although, how are the fields looking like that? Ooh, there's several small fields ready to be harvested. One that needs to be fertilizer, which we are currently fertilizing, is already 100%. We've set it to be 75% when it's ready for harvesting, but right now, it's going to be working there until it's gone through the entire field, which means that the nutrient levels are going to be relatively good. If we compare, for example, over here, it's 44% nutrient levels, it's got fertility of 150%. This was actually a slightly larger field than that one. It's not a huge difference. But it's like 0.07 hectares. Alright, and there's... well, no, we've still got plenty of gravel there. We did at least complete... Oh, we have started on this one, finally. There we go. So that's something that we could actually assign this thing for. Help with the groundworks a little bit. So we can get... Because right now we don't actually have any garbage collection on this end. And that is a bit of an issue. This one's probably going to be too far away for that still. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's better than nothing. We've got this thing in here, which, to be fair, unfortunately cannot reach there. Oh, well, I mean, we could put in another one in here, or we could try getting a shortcut road in here somewhere. Or maybe a footpath, even. I don't know if that would help. Maybe. But we could try doing something in here to make sure that we can deliver the trash from here to there. Although we've got a... Well, actually, we don't have that much container capacity in here. So, maybe not. I'm saying that the situation is still under control, but maybe not. Right, we started cutting down some more trees in here. We've still got so many trees around here, though, that I'm not too worried about. Is there fallen trees? I think we did cut down some. Oh, yeah, there's fallen trees over there. We're currently picking up some wood from the Soviet side of the border. They'll never know. As long as no one tells them. And be considered sharing state secrets. And that'd be treason. Alright, so there's the asphalt coming in here. Still need a bit more gravel. But that should be fine. We do have a little bit more work to be done on these bits of road. And the factory connection still needs a lot... Oh, right, so we got the... Okay, yeah, we need more gravel there, but that's going to be getting at least the... some of the portion done there. We will need some workers to actually complete that, which is slightly unfortunate, but it's doable. Oh, there we go, so we've got a bit of gravel there. Have we gotten the stuff for the horse feeding station? No, not really. I think I might actually want to go ahead and prioritize that, because we definitely do need that one. It doesn't require power or anything, so it's relatively easy. I think... I'm not entirely sure if it can actually even catch fire now that I think of it. Maybe it can. I don't think I've seen these catch fire at any point yet. But I suppose other than the crops or the horse food in there, there's not really that much flammable. Or I suppose the building itself is still a bit flammable. But like if it doesn't need any power or anything like that, it's somewhat unlikely. Oh. Right, this is the ironwood's construction. Oh, right, yeah. So this was the construction office down here. And of course, since we did assign it to start working the small garbage collection point there, it is heading in there now. That one's still waiting a bit more gravel, which it might already be getting. It is on its way. It's still a little bit distance away, mind you, but it will eventually get there. Again, these horses just are so determined to not go on the gravel road. It's not really helping. And eventually we'll probably just upgrade both of these to gravel and then be done with it. But right now we don't really have that luxury, I'm afraid. Unless we just remove a stretch off the road. And that way they would be then kind of forced to go along the gravel road. which might actually allow them to, at least since the rains are still fairly frequent in here, it might allow the stuff to be transported slightly faster, even though it's, you know, during fair weather it has no impact. Although it does have probably an impact on how quickly they take wear and tear when they're driving on the mud roads, so it would still probably be helpful in that regard. I do actually wonder, so if that is connected area there, if we were to do something similar in here, which we probably could, I don't know if we should, but we could, then that might allow the traffic to flow through a little bit smoother over here as well. It doesn't want to snap there. Well, actually, if we take the snapping away, I know there's still only one location to connect to. 18 meters, I think it might be just about too short. Okay, I'm not going to put that in there yet. But at some point we will probably upgrade this a little bit further. Get some more of those connections. Admittedly, if we were to get a one-way road connection in here from this point to... Okay, we do need to have the snapping, don't we? Hold on a minute, can I... It's not quite what I wanted. It would kind of work, but yeah, no, it's not working accordingly. We'd probably have to build all of this from scratch to get it with the one-way lane. And we can do it with the one-way road. We can make it very efficient, I reckon, because we can have the correct lanes going in there accordingly and all that. But at the same time, yeah, it's going to be a problem. We've got plenty of gravel still there. How are we looking on this year's sale? Okay, we are a little bit deficit again. Because we did just stop the extra board sales for the time being. But we've got a little bit boards already waiting in here. How's the board price? Still 11.6-ish. But not great. Wood price is less than 8 rubles. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think the wood-based industries are going to work all that well in our favor right now. I suppose another thing that I could do for money. So technically speaking, what we could do is we could just set up some of the garbage dumps in here, then have like a one truck that is going to be filling those up with hazardous waste, and then just, you know, let it like put in a lot of small dumps essentially. And let the hazardous waste, at least the ash and such, in there just dissipate. I don't know how much money that would save us. I mean, we would still have to deal with the hazardous waste in there before we can sell it back. But it could be doable. Although I suppose the ash is at least a small negative in there. Even though it's not going to be that massive negative. So in... Actually, no, I don't think it would have enough of an impact. But like, what I'm thinking is, if we import the hazardous waste, then just let it, you know, dissipate for a while, get the ash out of there, and then just sell it back to them. But that would actually be even more concentrated hazardous waste, which would mean that it would cost even more to export that. Plus, you know, there's always the price difference between importing and exporting. So no, it would not work. At least in practice, I don't think. But in theory, it could be a viable option. Or at least, you know, importing the hazard waste. How's the... Right, so ash is only -7. That's not too bad. Oh. I don't think we're going to import the ash, so... Let me just have a look. If we go in there... No, we can't import ash. I do wonder what the mixed waste is. Because that could also have some things that will dissipate, and then we can sell that. And it might be actually worth at least some money. You know what, let's... We're gonna try this. This might be a stupid idea in the end, but we'll give it a go. Go ahead and give this. It's a small container, so it's not exactly ideal for this job. I'm just gonna do one trip in there. So we're gonna be loading... Oh, right, we already have a stop there. So in that case, we'll remove that stop. Go there, unload. And then, actually, yeah, you need to return it here. I want to see what's in the mixed waste. I don't think the mixed waste is going to cost us much, is it? It depends what's in the mixed waste, I suppose. I'm actually hoping that it's a lot of things that don't really help us, or like a lot of ash and things that we'd have to pay to export, and then we'll just leave it in there. I just, you know, want to kind of get a bit of an idea what we're dealing with in this particular border customs house in here. So what's the mixed waste? There's some construction waste, plastic waste, a lot of fertilizer actually, some burnable waste and other waste, and I think we might actually be gaining some money because the export price is negative. And to be fair, I think the fertilizer, I don't know if that actually dissipates. I know the construction waste and plastic waste will not. Burnable waste probably doesn't. The other waste probably will stay there, so it's... there's a little bit of stuff that we might be able to remove from there, with just time. Unfortunately, it's currently blocking the other side of the customs, so this was not necessarily the correct choice, but it's just once only right now. Check on the situation, and later on we'll decide on whether we want to use that as a way to get... Well, again, if we have a look at the import of resources, mixed waste, it's actually only cost... Oh, we gained us 7 rubles for doing that. So, I don't know. If we can then turn that into something that would be profitable to export later on, or slightly more profitable at least. Let's see, so that's the 3.3 tons there. Oh, it is dissipating. So it might be... I'm pretty sure that the other waste will stay there. The burnable waste and fertilizer might be dissipating. It's hard to tell what the exact numbers in there because it only gives you estimates or how much of it is what. I guess that's alright. In the meanwhile, how we're looking over here, we've done a bit more work on the various roads there. This one's still waiting for more gravel, did we? Oh, right, that's a low priority, of course. This one's high priority. Oh, we can get working on that one now. Oh, there we go. Let's get immediately on that. Then we can bring in the crops and fuel in here. And we can start refueling in here. So it's going to save us a lot of time and effort for these vehicles to go back and refuel. Well, there we go. So that's... oh, the crane's already heading in there, so that's good. Can it have more than one? No, it's only one crane. It's going to require probably 5 or 6 busload of workers. Which isn't great, but it's manageable. Right, so we are still going to have to work on a lot of stuff in here. We could build some of the plumbing. At least a few things of it. Is that one? That one's got all the steel already as well. Alright then. So yeah, there's at least 2 portions for that. These 2 are still working on all of that. I guess we could make this into medium priority now, so we can just relieve that off duty. We did get the... Okay, we've done the groundworks in here, but the garbage stand over here still needs to be built. It's probably not going to be too difficult, to be fair, but it still requires a bit of work. Another thing that I might do in here is get this footpath in. And actually what we may need to do... Oh, the Anson Construction Office is assigned to that already. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, that's the resource... right, so this one needs to be assigned there. But it's probably going to take a long, long while before we get to that point. What do we have in here? That is some biological waste. We're actually getting some money from selling that. So that's good. And how's the trash now? So the burnable waste is still 5%. Other waste is still over 20%. Fertilizer is over 40%. So it's difficult to say what's actually going to be left behind in here. At this point still. Out of the... Like, we've already removed 0.15 tons of the waste. So it's probably going to take until a decent while. I think it might be the burnable waste that is dissipating at least. I don't know if the fertilizer goes away. It might, to be fair, but it might not, actually. And then there's the... Well, there's still going to be some of the other waste there, I reckon, as well. But yeah, it's probably the burnable waste that is getting removed right now. Oh, okay, so last month was a 1,300 ruble deficit. We have made a small profit again this month. Again, it's just mostly the foreign workforce that is costing us a lot. Or a decent chunk of the current expenditure. that one's getting some of the prefab panels. So we'll still need a bit of steel there, and prefab panels. We are now getting some of the workers for the horse feeding station. That's the first set of workers, and there's a second one following very shortly. So they probably need to do 2 more trips, both of them, to get this built. Assuming that they are doing, well, I suppose they don't have a lot of other places to construct right now. We've got some of the prefab panels there, with a little bit of steel. But of course, this one's got so many things to work on. Whereas the construction office over here is slowly running out of the things that it needs to actually focus on, which is nice. Then we can maybe get the digging crew out of here, or we can put in the... Actually, I'm going to put the auto surge. I'm going to keep it below 1,000 meters, so that should be mostly in here. So it can help with some of the stuff in here, I guess, but that's about it. We might still need to remove this, or move this one elsewhere at some point. I suppose it will help when we start moving some of these passenger wagons away. Like over here, I guess. Yeah, if we move those in here, which we don't want to do yet, because we don't have any workers close by in here, so they would be driving all the way to the border to pick up the workers and then deliver those elsewhere. That's going to be a whole lot of time and fuel wasted. Well, crops wasted, I guess, in our case. There we go. So we still need another 50 workdays, so I guess we did do a pretty good job on the first round there. So maybe these 2 will actually be enough to complete the work. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure about that, to be fair, but there's a chance. And we've done the groundwork for the other gravel portion of the factory connection in here. So that's another thing that we can then get working. Oh! Right, now we need a whole lot of gravel for the produce exchange, but we can at least get started on this. And that's 400 workdays of the... Well, it's still going to be 2,400 workdays after we've done the groundworks. That is going to be expensive. And we need to have that built before we even get around to do the... well, rather, bring in population in here, because we will not have population brought in here unless we have a shop for them to buy their food in, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of starving people, and we'd rather avoid that, actually, as hard as it is to believe. Oh, there we go, that footpath is almost done, or will be done very shortly. Which does mean that the construction office down here will be... Well, it's still got a bit of things to work on, but not that many in the end. Oh, well, we've got some gravel there. That's good. We might also want to build some of the gravel roads in here over time, but it's going to take a while. Also, at some point, we will remove this horse feeding yard. We are still distributing or bringing crops to it. But the idea is that at some point, we'll remove that one, and we might actually put in one of those coal-based refueling stations, or steam refueling stations. There's oh right, so there's a steampunk and steam. It's the difference is the amount of coal that we can store in there. A little bit more in the construction cost, but it's just the steel cost really. So there's this thing, and then there's this thing. It's pretty much the same thing really. But yeah, we'll replace that one with one of these. How many can actually refuel in there? Ooh, 4 of them. That's actually pretty good. But then that means that even the horses will be using coal in there to refuel. But, you know, it's just once we start getting some actual vehicles other than horse wagon or horse-drawn wagons, then at that point we'll consider it. At least, at the latest, once we have like 5 upgraded vehicles, we upgrade it, I mean, it's just, you know, anything that isn't available from the start for us, or our vehicles that are the first of their kind, like the prison bus is going to be at 1917. So that's going to take a while. Right, so the footpath, that is going to hopefully get done at some point. We have got another bit of a road here. Of course, we... Oh, right, the clinic over here, that's going to require a lot of resources. It is starting to get some resources already with the open hole trucks. There's a bit of bricks heading in here, at least. It'll require some board, or quite a bit of bricks, some boards, and some steel. But getting the clinic done would be quite handy. How's the fueling station? We haven't got... Oh, right, there's the horses coming in now, actually. There's 12 of them. And then there's going to be a little bit of a gap, and then there's going to be another 12. Which does mean that actually there's going to be a little bit more benefit from the crane there, even though we are having more workers here than the crane can help. But it does mean that we'll, you know... But once the first wave of workers starts to leave, we'll still have some workers to use the crane. And it might be enough to actually complete the work right now, because we're already down to 15 workdays. Make that about 10 workdays, and only a few of them are starting to leave now, so that, yeah, that's going to be completed very, very shortly. Let's go ahead and assign that to the distribution office then. Not that one. This one. Right, let's go ahead and just start getting some of the stuff there. Shouldn't be too expensive. But yeah, so we'll get that one provided with some crops, and then we're going to refuel in here. There might be some... actually, I don't think they'll be trying to refuel there yet, but at some point they will. Right, in the meanwhile, how are we looking on the... Right, the produce exchange... We have gotten some of the gravel there. Still going to take a while before we complete that. But it is at least coming along somewhat successfully. There's a bit of farming being done in here still. But there's still a lot of work to do. And then these are okay. How's that one we got? Oh, right, we're not storing any of the boards there anymore. Well, that makes sense. We've got a lot of boards waiting in here. How's the board's price, actually? It is 11.3, so that is still not very high. We are still selling some boards, but probably not all that much. Oh, and the crops price is almost 22 rubles per... Okay, I think it might be time to buy a second permanent truck for exporting the crops with. Of course, it will cause a bit more traffic at the customs, so we need to be somewhat careful with that. But that's going to allow us to get some more revenue moving in. We've still got plenty of... We've got still about 400 tons of crops in here, so eventually we might actually be running out of the crops in here if we are not careful. I think right now it's still not a huge risk there. That still needs a bit more gravel to be brought in. Running a little bit low on wood, actually. We definitely did produce a lot of boards, that's for sure. And then, of course, these trucks are going to be mostly fine. Have we got anything to... No, we don't. Well, I suppose it's mostly the lines that will be going into the building in here to repair. Otherwise, we'll need to either send them in here, or we need to have a vehicle to do the repair trips, which we could do. But since we don't have a steady flow of workers in here, it might not work quite as intended. That does remind me, though. Do we... I don't think we have a vehicle repair station yet in this town. We got the technical service over there. We will want to have a vehicle repair station somewhere. Could maybe be on this end. It's a bit further away from some of the utilities, but it's still close enough for some workers to be working in here. So let's go ahead and get a... Probably just a small vehicle repair station will do. There's the horse veterinarian, to be fair, which we could utilize. Well, yeah, no, that's not initially a bad idea. It doesn't need too much of a stockpile. And that would still be within reach of amenities. So if we get that one there, is there a... Right, so we've got some... Oh, well, there's a wagon depot. Right, I forgot about this. I can actually store a whole lot of vehicles in there. It just kind of overlaps everything. So it doesn't actually look pretty, but it fits within the theming in here. So we'll put the wagon depot there. We're going to leave a little bit open area here for some other buildings, perhaps later on. Let's get the gravel road through here. Okay, let's get that one in there. That'll probably be alright. We're not going to start building on that yet, but we have at least reserved a space for vehicle repair in here. So that will be very good in the long run. We're going to install some vehicles in there. And it's also going to be a nice hopping off point to then get to the next valley over here. Or, well, I suppose there's a bit of a hill over here still, but will be... I don't actually... Could potentially build something in here. It would be within easy access. Oh, that actually reminds me. We need to have a harbour in here somewhere. On this side. A passenger harbour, that is. Let's go ahead and figure out a location for that, shall we? Oh, hold on a minute. There was the... Oh, there's a medium... Right, we can get a small jetty, which does have room for 2 vehicles, but it has only got room for 50 workers. Or we could go for a... So this is a 34-meter length ship. I mean, that's probably fine, let's be honest. For our needs. So is there... Technically speaking, we could probably just link to that. Oh, but this one doesn't have the footpath connection directly in there. Well, this one does, but how's the construction cost? Oh, wait, no, that was the wrong category there. So this one's... Yeah, that's actually quite a bit cheaper. It still has room for 500 workers, though, so I guess we can probably build that there. Go ahead and get the road in here. We might need to do actually a little bit of smoothing of the terrain there. Actually, I don't know if we have anything to do that with. Yeah, no, we don't have a digging crew available right now. So I'm just kind of thinking that maybe smooth out the hillside here a little bit. It's not too steep, to be fair, so we could just build that road there. But I'm just thinking that maybe I should do something about it. And there we go. The produce exchange is at least getting some work done there. And we do have our, well, technically speaking, we got one building at least done in Ansang Valley already. It's not a lot yet. Actually, no, we got two. We got the horse feeding station. Well, there we go. So that's something. And we've got a decent bit of roads done already today. How looking on the money situation right now? Ooh, it's not looking good. Although, I suppose we didn't actually set up the new truck to do the grain exports yet. Let's go ahead and just send that one out there. That's going to be 2 vehicles constantly exporting. We are still actually gaining some crops, so that's good. And let's, so last year, let me just double check. We produced, yeah, it's about 900 tons of crops. There wasn't a lot of gap there. This year we've already produced, okay, there was a small gap there, I guess. So maybe we need just one more field in here somewhere. That might be enough to keep it constant production. It's not necessarily going to be a very large production, mind you. But it could be kind of useful. So let's go ahead and take a small field. Can we... Oh, look at the control lines here. It is going to be a little bit of a steep field. But it could work there. There's a bit of a woodland area in between. I think that looks kind of nice. And that has been assigned, so there we go. We can get that hopefully growing sooner. We'll need a little bit fertilizer there first, but that's fine. And then that's going to be yet another field that we're going to have constantly growing. So if we have just that one harvester, it should still be basically a constant production. I mean, it might need to go refuel every now and then. It might also need a bit of repairs occasionally. Speaking of which, is this one, that one's going to the new field that we just placed down? Where is the harvest ongoing right now? Actually, I don't know if we have a harvest ongoing right now. That is fully grown. Oh, is this the harvest vehicle? I think it is, actually. It's going to the small field number 6, so it would be... Oh, no. That's the, that's going to fertilize the field. Where's the harvester, then? Or the harvester. Oh, it's going to refuel right now, okay. Actually, where's it going next? Okay, small field 7. I mean, yeah, so it's that one. Well, fair enough. Actually, how much do we have crops on the fields? There's a decent bit. So I don't know if adding another field is necessarily going to help our situation in here. But we're slowly emptying the stuff, hopefully. Of course, what we could do is we could have the distribution office over here pick up crops, for example, from these two. But the problem might be that, well, actually, it's got possibilities for that. So let's just go ahead and put those two in. Yeah, we'll just empty those, so at least we can then export some from there directly. Or at least help empty them, if nothing else. Right, we are still not done with the groundwork for the produce exchange. We do have another digging crew, so this is from the... yeah, this is the free construction office back at the border. But that needs a bit more gravel. But then that's going to open up the groundworks for the bus platform, which is something that we definitely do need. And then, I suppose, is there... Right, we do need to get through some of these footpaths as well, but we haven't really started on those yet. I guess this... Ooh, yeah, there's quite a bit of work that you're still doing on there. You could say that. It's going to take a while. Right, well, we got at least all of that. How's the work on the mine coming along? It's still 2,400 workdays, so not a lot of progress has happened there. That still needs a bit more steel. And what about... actually, we're not working on a building right now, are we? No, not really. Is there anything... Actually, there are some of the pipes that we could do. I know at least that one is ready. And that one is ready. I think that's about it, to be fair. But hey, it's 2 more places that we can build. That we will need. Okay, so that one's heading to one of the pipes, and I think there's one crane coming in from the border to help with that. But having the crane actually in here does reduce the travel time for at least one crane at a time. It may not be huge, but, you know, it will still help us, or save us a little bit of time getting the stuff, and it will definitely be in the location by the time the workers arrive. So, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Still another 8 tons of gravel for the produce exchange. That'll be alright. The footpath over here still needs a decent bit of work as well. Well, we haven't really started on that one yet. But we should be able to use the digging crews for that sooner or later, so that's not too bad. Ooh, right, and the clinic's getting a bit of stuff here. Still needs quite a bit of bricks, mind you. And some boards and a tiny bit of steel, actually, as well. But the steel isn't the biggest problem there right now. Oh, and is this one? Yeah, that one's growing now. So there we go. Now we've got a total of 11 fields. So it should be getting us at least, I don't know, maybe 950 to 970 tons of crops per year. More or less. And it might also allow us to continually just harvest. I suppose there might be some gaps there still with the harvesters just, you know, being busy. Is that actually... It's not too much worn down, actually. That's not too bad. It says refueling sometimes takes a bit of a while. We could potentially set up another gas or refueling station up here for this road. So when they're working on the fields, they can just refuel up here, I suppose. Let's have a look. Can we get that done easily? Probably not on this hillside, unless we put it sideways in here somewhere. Like right there could kind of work. Just doesn't really want to connect to the road there. So I'm guessing probably not going to happen, let's be honest. It's too steep here to build. I mean, it's probably a little bit too steep, realistically speaking, to farm. Although, I suppose, this is kind of a rice, I guess terrace farming is still a thing. It's just the fields over here don't really look like they're terrace farms. But yeah, no, it's... we can just at least pretend that they are. Oh, no, we're still taking a little bit losses in here in terms of money, but it is still, you know, 4 figures. It's not really that bad in terms of grand scheme of things, and we still haven't gotten our housing up and running. But I suspect that in next year, if we can keep the production or construction work going in here, I suppose the produce exchange is still going to take a long while to build. Mostly because it's going to be 2,400 work days. That's going to be a whole lot of time. But I suppose during that time, we can then work on the various footpaths, get the groundworks done for other buildings, including the bus platform, I hope. Alright, we did get the road connection in there. We're probably getting some concrete now, among other things. Oh, there's an open hole. Right, that's the digging crew coming in from the... Oh. Yeah, yeah, that is from the construction office over here. I still got a little bit of things that it's technically being assigned to. But I suppose since it, yeah, I built that road, so it takes the construction behind it as its things as well, if it can help with that. Right, still at 2,400 workdays at the iron mine, so nothing too bad in there. The boards, we've got plenty. How's the board's price? It is 10 point... Oh. Oh dear. If we have a look at the price for boards... let's see... That one. And then we go all time. Yeah, it's less than what we started at. We started at around 12 rubles. And now it's down to 10. That is fairly significant drop. Now, to be fair, we have reduced the amount of sales that we do on that one, right? Yeah, we're not selling with this, so it's just a one vehicle basically doing the sales. And we may need to stop that at some point, to be fair. Question is, why are we going to sell otherwise? I guess if we have a look at the wood price, that's probably not going to be much better either. Yeah, that's also reduced. I suppose if we're selling a whole lot of boards, then there's not going to be quite as much a requirement for the other nations to produce their own wood to get their boards produced, or buy wood to produce their own boards. So yeah, that's causing a bit of issue there. Right, so how's the... Ah, there we go. It's down to 2 tons of waste. So fertilizer is going away. The burnable waste did dissipate. The other waste still seems to be there. But I guess that's alright also. Okay, my Steam preview dropped there. I hope we're still on. Although we are calling the day in a little bit. Actually, that reminds me. Let me quickly just snooze the ads. Because we'll be hitting the end of the stream soon enough. Right, so, in the meanwhile... Well, we haven't used any dollars yet, luckily. The rubles we're still well, we're needing a little bit more. I mean, I suppose with the wood sales or the board sales reducing in value quite a bit, that might be causing some issues. There's the foreign manpower, of course, that is costing a lot. I'm guessing that actually, is that... No, it's not listed in the prices in here, is it? No. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Now it's 1st of July, so let's have a look at this year thus far. Well, I mean, we did buy a vehicle, but that's probably giving us actually a bit more money with the crop sales at least. Yeah, it's already a visible increase in there. Not massive increase, but it is visible. We sold, oh wow, almost 350 tons of crops already this year. Last year we sold a total of 600. So we'll probably get at least to like 800 total, maybe even more. So that's getting close to the point where we won't have a lot of extra production per year. But anyway, I think that's where we're going to call for today. I will be back on Wednesday with some more Kingdoms Reborn. Then Friday is going to be more Project Zomboid. Sunday is going to be more Heartland 3. And the next Monday we'll hopefully get some housing done in here. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.